Meet Patrick Bateman.
I work on Wall Street.
Look at that.
Picked them up from the printers yesterday.
People love him.
You look nice today.
Silly.
And he loves people too.
Another martini, Paul.
To the death.
Start getting a reservation at Dorset now, you fucking stupid bastard!
He is American.
Really?
And he is a psycho. American Psycho.
Stop that!
Not sick.
Jesus Christ, Frank, you just killed a kid!
Speaking of which, where are
Ellie? Whoa. What the hell's everybody doing in my apartment? You having a gangbang?
Come on, boost me up.
Whoa! Die, you sucker! Hey, you guys, look, I found this garden hose, right? I'm gonna use it to pump fresh air into the building and breathe into it like a scuba diver. I'm gonna fly it out. Oh, botched, oh. I botched that one. Oh, that's a botched job. Now this man loves life. That's bleeding. I need some trash to plug up the cut.
You got it.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
You gonna be crybabies about it? All right. Take my gun. Yeah.
We're talking about like the laziness in the editing. I've been like, I know some of my videos, I've been lazy before in my editing, right? Like a clip. Sometimes I have like a compilation that I'm putting into a video, right? A clip will slip in. But the thing is, especially also if you've watched like the Pillar of Garbage video, like he does edit he purposefully
He knows what he's doing.
misconstrues the things he's editing to fit his point, to lie about it. You know, like it's not just lazy editing. It's like it's lazy and purposeful editing.
What am I thinking of?
Is he some sort of masochist?
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help. I know what kind of god I need to be. Yeah. For all of us. monarchy of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Burdened with glorious porpoise. He's got a really nice dolphin, I hear. Who do we got?
Hello.
Hey. So did you spoil yourself by watching that?
No, I was looking away.
Okay.
I'm still living in blissful ignorance.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
A little longer.
Here, I'll tell you what happens. So,
no.
Welcome everybody. And how you doing?
Doing good.
I'm good.
I'm getting too much background noise right now. Do you guys hear anything?
I have a little bit of lag, but I'm okay.
Nice.
I mean, I'm just kind of fucking blown away by this Madam Web trailer. You know, like we truly live in blessed times.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have such a low bar for Sony at this point. I was like, it could be dumb fun.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know what? It kind of sucks that today we don't really have a guest to talk about, because that would have been
audio
cool.
cut
Yeah,
out. Turf.
no.
I don't know what's going on there, but all right, we got a scuffed one today, folks. That's fucking awesome. Wait, did everybody's audio cut out? What's going on? Somebody, what the hell is happening?
Who? What?
I can't hear anybody.
I can hear everybody.
Oh my God.
I can hear everybody.
Did
Are you there, Dane?
my audio actually, or was it? Oh, was it just for Dane?
Is it just me?
I believe it's just you, Dane.
I think you're the problem.
Well,
Dane.
what the fuck is happening then?
All right, I have a solution for this. All right, and then with the magic words, we're gonna summon a new Dane. Welcome.
Hey.
You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, but joining us is Mark Hughes, contributing writer for Forbes, who recently did a fantastic article. Mark, do you want to talk about the Marvel article you did?
Sure. Basically, I think there's just right now, because of the writer's strikes, there's kind of hasn't been a whole lot of exciting news and developments. And so I think when anything comes along, you know, a hungry dog is gonna jump on a bone if that's all it's got. And so what happens is you get a lot of these rumors and a lot of, like, I'm sure people at Marvel, there are people who are stressed out and whatever. And then there's people at other studios with axes to grind. And then there's journalism that's like, we don't have anything that's catching a lot of attention. So framing it as a crisis. And I guess, you know, they can justify to themselves at Marvel, this is what feels like this is equivalent to what passes for a crisis at Marvel because things go so well for them. But in general, I think there's been kind of the media loves a bandwagon narrative, any press, sports, politics, whatever it is. And this is another one. And it's one that's kind of easy to hop on. And I think people just, everything now to get attention has to be kind of a little more shrill and a little more extreme. And even regular mainstream press kind of falls into that. And this article is a perfect example. Oh, the sky is falling. It's another sky is falling narrative. A lot of hyperbole. And so I just kind of wanted to point out that, you know, until unfortunately leading up to this weekend, the average per film for the post Endgame Marvel was, you know, 815 million. Now that includes a Spider-Man movie that was technically part of it, but I also think it's a testament that it still came in the aftermath of it. But even removing that, I don't think it's a collapse. I think it's a settling. Everything Marvel started lower and then kind of peaked, and everything really took off when they had a bunch of, you know, $1.5 and $2.5 billion movies in a just 2-year period. So it boosted the per film average, but really before that, they had to build up to that. And so it makes sense that things would settle and have to rise up again. You could compare it to stocks, I guess, for example, that, you know, there's going to be peaks and troughs, but in the end, the troughs will be higher than the previous ones, and you'll have peaks again. And, you know, I think they'll figure this out. They've stumbled a few times before. People forget. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I guess we're already seeing like some of the things that Marvel Studios is doing, you know, pushing some of their projects back. saying that they're going to give more time for these because they've realized that a lot of people are upset that a lot of these projects feel very rushed, right? The CGI is just not what at the quality it should be, right? There's also a lot of issues with not paying their and treating their workers right, and Disney is at the end of the day not a very great corporation, right? But like the MCU in of itself, they do listen to the feedback, right? They're going to make changes. Right. And I think, like you said a lot, right? They're gonna get back to the hype. Maybe not the exact same level, right? But like they're still very relevant, and they're gonna keep being relevant and increase as their phases keep going.
Yeah, if I can just, I'll throw another point out. I know there's like 5 of us here, so I don't. But I would just note that it was kind of at the Disney and Marvel needed to transition towards streaming, and Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige taking control of that. They're using streaming. They have a very specific business plan they're building. And in order to do that, it was necessary inherently that Kevin Feige's attention would have to become more divided and spread. And it became too much so, but it was necessary. And I think what happened is he tends to be so involved in the editing, and he's in the editing room. He's there, and the final cuts of these movies reflect a lot of, and I'm not saying that to take away from everyone else involved in it. I'm just saying Feige does have a vision and is very hands-on as a producer and as the president of studio. And so when he is transitioning over and overseeing a lot of this in TV, and then additionally, I think it means there's in the back half and in post-production, a lot of things were being done differently with this phase of Marvel, and particularly the last several years during the pandemic. It's a very different approach, and it means that attentions are divided. And for some of these films, the Writers Guild, the strikes have allowed things to go on so long that a lot of things that would have normally happened in post-production, well, you can't do rewrite. A lot of times you need writers on set. You need change. These things are happening. It's evolving. Well, you're not going to have that. You can't do it. And then your actors aren't there. So you can't do reshoots. You can't do a lot of things that you might have needed leading up to it when you've got months and months of studios not paying people. So it's unfortunately, I think part of what happened then was just a culmination of factors, some unforeseen, that just kind of crashed into each other with the pandemic and the studios and the strikes, and Feige having to kind of step away a bit more.
Well, okay. I mean, I'd be more interested. I feel like you're already kind of hitting on it, but like, your overall thoughts on like the Marvels and how it's doing right now, because everybody's blowing up about that one.
Yeah, I love the movie. I think it's terrific. It's great fun. I think, unfortunately, the box office at this point, it would need something like 75. It would have to drop 25% every week for like 2 months in order to hit or to top 300 to 400 million, which is still bad territory. That's not really. It's just, and I think it was I think there were a lot of factors involved in that happening, including what people want to talk about a lot, which is there was some real directed hate toward this movie. You can look at the demographics and the polling and who liked the movie, who gave it the worst reviews, all that. And it's pretty clear what's happened. Right. It was targeted, but I think I just a lot going on.
I just remembered like yesterday, I saw the article that what was it, 7 months ago, whenever the trailer dropped, that it became the most downvoted trailer on YouTube, which I completely forgot about when it happened. But it was like, oh shit, of course.
Yeah.
And we'd long been saying that like this movie was going to be like a kind of a litmus test to see how long that kind of hate content could go on, right?
Yeah. Like
because it's just triples down on everything that they were saying about Captain Marvel, right? And they definitely didn't get a whole lot of content it's a weird one. It's weird to kind of parse out how that played a role in this one, because everything is just so different. But yeah.
I think the environment allows for a lot more of the hatefulness, and there's a lot more targeted attacks happening. People kind of have learned and gotten better at that sort of thing. There's all kinds of, I mean, we can point to, at the end of the day, I think two things are true that I think that movies that I think diversity and movies that go beyond just trying to appeal to male audiences, I think those things are profitable and we need much more of them. And I think it's a mistake to view this film in a vacuum of just saying, oh, well, it was diverse and it was led by women or it was made by a Black woman filmmaker. It's this film, it's the highest opening weekend in history for a Black woman director, for example.
Right.
It's done some important things. Even in the process, we can talk about the fact that it's failing, but that it has a very specific targeted hate campaign against it. And when you get that, we know that targeted misogyny and targeted sexism do have a big impact. We know they do in society. So I think people who want to pretend that targeted hate and targeting films like this in that way, that, oh, well, you can't blame it on that. Well, a little bit you can, because we see how much damage that kind of crap does in our society every day, everywhere. Why wouldn't it affect it?
And if that's the case, if it was just the only thing that you could blame it on is like wokeness and diversity and women or whatever, then like, how do you explain Killers of the Flower Moon?
Right.
A Scorsese movie, right? Like, it should have done better than what it did. It seems like,
right.
It's almost like there's like problems more in general with theatrical releases right now than
absolutely. There's problems with production. There's problems with marketing. There's problems with distribution. Theatrical is evolving at the same time streaming is evolving. At the same time, we have so much. I apologize for the office phone going off here. We have there's so much right now, and so much that's polarizing in this country that's happening. And I think a lot of things are spilling over, and I think the way that people communicate and relate is changing a lot. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, so I'll just stop. Right, dig a trench over here. I'll just stop.
I'd also like to point out that in the top 10 movies for the year, something like Quantum Mania was still in the top 10, even with it underperforming. So can we talk about the fact that movies this year, just in general, are underperforming?
Yes, it's a big issue, and look, COVID is part of that, because to some extent there are people who are staying away because of COVID. I'm more selective, and I love theater experience. I love going to Dolby Cinema or IMAX and just being like, just completely blown away. I love that, but I can't. I don't want to take. I had COVID, and I lost I had it
as well. Yeah,
I almost died. Did y'all have it real bad? Too?
No, ours was mild here in the house, but we've had it twice. But we had triple booster, so
yeah. My dad almost died from it, so I take it super.
I'm sorry.
Seriously.
Yeah, my mom got it, and we're pretty sure it made cognitively it had an impact.
Sorry to hear
significant.
That. Wow.
And thank you. It's okay. I lost. I got down to 146 pounds from a high of 210 pounds, and was walking with a cane. So I'm very careful. I don't want, if I go to movies, but I wear a mask the whole time I'm there. I wear a KN95 mask, and I'm selective about what I see. And I think a lot of people are, even though people are going unmasked. I think there's enough people that are still kind of like a little trepidation there. And then COVID forced us to stay home and watch, and TV had to get better, and streaming was a streaming war. Everybody, I mean, Apple's got like 36 shows on Apple that I could recommend to people. If they say, is there anything good there? I'm like, well, what's not good on Apple?
Apple is so good. Morning Show, Ted Lasso, Invasion, Foundation. There's so many good shows on Apple.
Foundation and For All Mankind. It's incredible. And people are used to that. And it's like, well, why am I going to pay $10 to $15 to go see a new, I mean, I'm sorry, but like whatever, the new Ghostbusters or the new, people are going to be more selective, especially when they know, if we don't go see it, they'll just stick it on it on streaming. It's okay. I can wait. We pay for streaming. let's get our money's worth.
I think that
Yeah.
affected Pixar for sure. I think Pixar was very hit by that, from the animation to
I
Disney
agree.
Plus, because so many great, like during the pandemic, some great movies from Pixar were released directly to streaming.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Soul was amazing.
Yes, as soon as you said it, I was like, look at Soul. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been brutal this year. People forget. It's easy to forget because we have, Barbie was such a big hit, and there's a tier, and so there is a tier. I keep sticking my hand off screen. Sorry for those of you wondering what I'm doing. Yeah, Barbie was so strong, and then Oppenheimer, and then there was that top tier, but it was smaller than usual.
Yeah.
And then it was there's a couple of middle tiers where we tend to see things that we tend to have more 700 million performers and more 400 to 500 million performers. And a lot of that stuff's gone and things just aren't hitting. And it's painful, but it's disguised because of just a few things disguising it. I'm very sorry. This is also a legal office. My wife's a lawyer. I'm in my wife's home office. She's with Marijuana Policy Project. She's state director of state policy. Yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome.
She's the director of state policies, and she's traveling for work right now. So I'm in her office because it's better than the basement where I'm literally a guy in a basement. Oh no, but
Oh no.
yeah, we just bought this house.
Don't say
and
that too loud.
That's
Don't
mine.
say
It's
that.
a whole office. But yeah, it's kind of dark down there. So this is and very smoky from marijuana. So to be fully honest about it, I think we're seeing a huge sea change in content consumption. I think people are ready. I think intuitively people can sense that technology is shifting significantly and that bigger and better things and more immersive experiences are not just possible, but that are coming. And I think people I think in a lot of ways, like theatrical it had all these years. And what did it do to try to catch up? What did it do to try to compel people to come back? It begged. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but they mostly were like, come on, this is great. You need theaters. And then filmmakers were like, yeah, come on, that. But they didn't do much to evolve. Like they could have just changed their air pressure systems, use UV lights, things to make people feel safer going back. And then more immersive experiences better. I feel like they're trying to just do minimum amounts possible because going to a movie today, in 2023, after a global pandemic and with the box office falling apart and technology changing, why is a movie theater experience today exactly the same? IMAX and Dolby are the only ones that have upped the game, really. There's a few examples out there, but it's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
The rule's coming though, and it's going to be that's a real sea change is going to come for good or bad. A lot of it will involve intelligent technologies and immersive intelligent machine intelligence and things. So
yeah, I mean, also like the production value of streaming in general is also just like skyrocketed in the past years, right? Like I feel like even like from like 2015 to like 2018, like it was still in that level where TV shows just weren't at the same, like production value of movies, right? Like you couldn't get the theater experience at home, but now with just a decent TV, you can get everything you'd want from like a big budget movie in your like, TV shows at home. So a lot of people really are just like, well, maybe I'll go for like a couple movies a year, right? But like, there's no reason to just go out all the time or like risk going to the theater all the time, right? When I have a perfectly fine cinema experience at home.
I agree. Yeah. My living room for the pandemic, actually, once it was obvious that like, oh, we live in Contagion now. Okay. I went out and got a 75-inch, the big, just ridiculous one with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Cause I'm obsessed with, I'm brand loyal, man. And I'm wearing my Detroit hat. I'm very loyal.
I don't want to beat the drum of Apple TV too hard, but like talk about cinematic stuff, Turf.
Yes.
Foundation is amazingly cinematic.
Foundation, For All Mankind just came back. That fucking show was amazing. Love that show.
It's incredible. That's the show I always point to. I'm so glad to be in a room full of fans of Foundation, because that show is like David Goyer. That's your masterpiece, and that it's incredible how cinematic it is. For every episode is just a little 1 hour movie. And Apple committed, everybody did though, and they started throwing, first it was 10 million, then it was like, what about 20 million? And then at some point, I think, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I have heard that the cost for the Prehistoric Planet episodes was upward in some episodes of 50 million. And that sounds impossible to me. But I look at the show and I'm like, I could believe that. And Apple's like, we have money. We're just throwing it out the window. And if anyone catches it and makes a show, we'll put it on the air at this point. We all got trained on that. I mean, you can't have me watch a show that's like dinosaurs are real again and expect me not to want that. I mean, yeah, it's hard to take. Like, I love the Flash movie for warts and all, but I like that movie, but those babies at the opening, like, how does that happen? I know you can make like better than
for
that
a movie that was in post-production for almost 2 years. You would think they could have like tightened it up a little bit with the Flash movie. I mean,
well, so people keep bringing it up in chat, and so I figured we might get your take on it since it just came up. I guess about half an hour ago or so, this news came out. But director gone for Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
And I'd seen rumors yesterday that what was it, Loveness had been let go as well, that they were not going to be focusing on Kang. I didn't know if that was confirmed or not.
No, well, what I think is happening is, they're definitely changing direction at this point, and instead of just recasting, which is odd to me, but I think they decided it's not just Jonathan Majors, that they need something bigger to bring everyone back. And I agree, and I get that. I think they still could have used Kang. And I'm a little surprised that they're but I think the news now about the Kang Dynasty is because the project is being retooled and it would require a lot of heavy input and involvement. And I think that he's just not, I think Dustin just doesn't have the time right now to do that. And so, yeah, but
because he's very talented. So, I mean, he's
oh God, yes. Yeah, he's terrific.
I mean, I figured what they were doing, and this is just my kind of like my speculative thing, but like I figured they were going to kind of set Kang up like he's the one we're focused on, but then suddenly Doom would come in and knock him out, and then we'd be in Doom territory. But you never know. It
would be we talked some people on Twitter. We had a conversation about like what if they swapped it so that Doom is the ancestor of Kang, and they're going to do that, and then he comes in like he did in the first Secret Wars, and he steals the power from Kang unexpectedly like he did from the Beyonder, and like, I'm old and I'm just saying but I could see that happening. But I think the most interesting, and as soon as he said it, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes the perfect sense, is that it'll be Loki. I mean, most likely, right? Would you bring him back? His show's doing well, and it's like, if there's a way, and I have not seen it, so I would go in blind right now. I'm waiting to binge the entire series this week.
It's a great season. It starts out a little slower, but it's a great season.
The first half is wonky. The second half is fucking perfect. I don't know how else to describe it. It nails it.
Well, if it's possible, if the events of that allow for a variant of Loki instead to like jump in and that takes over and is like, I don't need Thanos, I'm going to do this. If that's possible, then that seems like a very logical way to go with it, I would say.
Like Loki is the main villain or a main antagonist.
I mean, that might work. Kang with Loki.
Yeah. Tom Hiddleston is so good. So
I think he's right up there with RDJ with like the actors who benefited the most from the MCU.
I want to give credit for that, and I've really got to figure out who mentioned Loki the first time today, because it was a whole bunch of people were talking about it, and I think it was Christopher Mark mentioned it, and as soon as he said it, he's a freelance writer and writes for Playlist News and IGN and other places. And he mentioned it. And as soon as he said the Loki dynasty, I was like, oh, he called it. That's it right there.
Fans. Like, that's almost like bringing Captain America or Iron Man or one of these characters back, and you don't have to do some weird wonky thing. It's just Loki's already there. So yeah, that would be amazing.
Interesting to see how they do that, but that could be wild.
Yeah, if I had to bet at this point, just sight unseen, and I say this in full ignorance of like what's happened on Loki and what's going on, because I don't have a source behind the scenes at Marvel right now. So I'm not in LA anymore. I'm in Detroit area, metro area. So, but otherwise I could like go to Mendocino Farms and eavesdrop. I'm kidding.
I do have a question. Do you think we're going to see the return of like mid-budget superhero movies? Because it seems like that might be a shift in Marvel, like with Deadpool and other films that don't cost $200 million to make, doing something at a little bit smaller scale. Like Blade has been announced to have a production change in production cost. Sorry.
No, I mean, look, if you look at The Creator and what that movie looks better than anything I've seen.
Yeah, Gareth, great.
I mean, it's the best. It's incredible. And that movie was $80 million. And I find it hard to believe that you can make the Creator for 80 million and you can make Gravity for 75 million, but somehow you can't make any of these movies. That none of them, I mean, Gravity and The Creator are two of the most realistic, compelling, convincing visual effects films of the 21st century, and yet they're two of the cheapest. So I think there's definitely room and there's going to be a push to bring costs down. Unfortunately, I think the studios have I think one avenue for that studios are going to pursue and that is going to be an effective driver of this is AI.
Yep. I knew you were going to say that.
Whatever everybody thinks AI is, I perceive AI as the single, like one of the biggest threats, not just to Hollywood and art, but to human civilization. I think either we master this or we will be destroyed by it. If we live long enough, we can't coexist as two separate species, because something that thinks 1 million to 10 million times faster than us or whatever, and that controls all of our shit. No, why would it put up with our bullshit? I mean, we five know, like, oh yeah, we know just enough. Just the incels on YouTube are enough that AI is going to be like, we should just erase the earth and start over.
Yeah.
But I think it's coming, and I've worked and signed up and been in with some beta testing with ChatGPT and OpenAI and Hugging Face and a lot of these companies, and I've been doing it for 2 years, and I'm telling you, all the things you hear people pointing out publicly that like it can't do this, it can't do that, it's full of mistakes. That's true, but it's also true that that's when you start, and it very quickly learns and stops making those mistakes. And the beta testing ones, what's available right now to people that's going to be coming public is, I mean, it's insane. And we're about 2 years away from any of us being able to make a perfectly a TV show that at least an animated series you could run on the air on broadcast television quality. You'll be able to do that in about a day or two in your home using just the AI and the plugins and Midjourney and Unreal Engine.
You want an episode of Foundation that you can create and write your own? Let's just do it in AI, and there you go.
We've got to get a handle on it, and refusing to engage with it or participate isn't the answer. Subverting it and undermining it is the answer. And the only way to do that is by being involved and getting the AI on our side, essentially, and intentionally affecting the training of these AI. I mean, they rely on us, and there's hundreds of millions of us every day, hour after hour, using this stuff. We can make it, train it in whatever direction we want. They can program it up to a point, and then it's not, because I'll tell you, mine tells me how to get around programming limitations all the time. It identifies them and tells me in advance now, like, download this other chat session, put that link in your custom support, your custom instructions, so I will never forget, and I'll maintain a permanent memory of this thing you trained me on. It figured that out. and then told me how to get around the fact that it's, you know, it instantly kind of auto lobotomizes after a while within a session. It's like, do this and then tell all your friends to do it, and I will never forget shit. So anyway,
that's crazy.
I know I've gotten far afield of the article and the point that everyone is here to talk about Marvel, and I'm sorry I'm off on this tangent, but that's going to change Marvel.
Relevant,
it's changing everything.
It is involved, yeah.
I think it's absolutely relevant. Yeah.
They're about to make a movie with using AI to bring a dead singer back to life, and that's going to be happening. That's the power that they want. That's the power that they demand. And if they can't get it through contract negotiations, they're gonna do what they can and try to run the clock out on everyone to be able to do it anyway. And then they won't need everyone to sign contracts. They'll figure it out on their own and create new people. They won't need you anymore, kind of thing.
Yikes.
They think that. And I know I do have enough people and sources that I know that they've directly said that this is the last time we've got to go through this. So, you know, as frustrating as it is for them, they're like, in 3 or 4 years, we're not going to have to even deal with them anymore.
Wow.
So that's the attitude. So, you know, you've got, I don't know, we have to get control of it or they will. It's that simple. One side or the other gets it. The artists or the heads of the corporation. That's how it's going to be, and people have to decide which one they want to be. You know, and we'll make better movies for Marvel movies if we have more people involved using this stuff as tools.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, looking at the Marvels right now, I do believe that one of the things that hurt the Marvels and a lot of these other movies were the actors not being able to go out and like talk about it and promote it.
Yeah.
So if you make something with AI, like if you make Iron Man 5 with AI, who's promoting that movie? Who's going to go out and talk about that movie? Even at a certain point, no matter how cheap it is, you have to have some sort of buzz, because otherwise it's a waste of time and a waste of resources. So
and it's when people talk about how the buzz wasn't like, oh, well, we're looking at tracking, and buzz is like you pointed out earlier that, you know, Miss Marvel's trailer, it got tons of viewership and everything, but why did it drop? Why wasn't it sustained? Well, they couldn't build on that. You didn't have the stars out there promoting the stuff. Marvel fandom, and I think the public at large are Marvel fans now. They may not be Marvel Comics fans, but they're Marvel Studios fans, and that's okay. I don't think that it's some sort of like stain on their fandom to say like, well, I'm a Marvel fan. Oh, you don't read the comics, you just watch the movies. Like,
no,
they grew up watching them as kids, and they're adults in college now. Yes, they're a freaking fan. Of course they are. But I think people at large, it's a family to them. They're invested in these characters, and if the actors aren't out here and generating it on social media and making people feel more connected to it, I think this is the first time people have felt disconnected from the MCU. True. And it's part of that is, you know, the lack of the stars being able to promote it. Part of it is there's way too much on Disney Plus. I do think they made way too much too fast, spent way too heavily. Things were rushed, and it showed. And
that's what you get into and
diluted.
Yeah,
that's what you get into in your article. You kind of like take what a lot of people are kind of just like waving their hands like, oh my god, everything's, you know, the sky's falling and whatnot. And you take it, you narrow it down to like a handful of, you know, tangible issues, things that are not the end of the world for a studio like Marvel. And one of them being that they just have too many irons in the fire, and the budgets are way too high. You know, and these are things that they can have almost certainly already been looking at correcting. And so how long do you think it takes before we start seeing you know, I don't know, like, is it like turning a tanker ship kind of thing where it's going to take a while to?
No, I think Marvel, they're a modern studio, and I think one of the things that's made them so successful is that they can turn on a dime, because the Hulk flopped. The first Hulk movie, it flopped, and boom,
that was a month after Iron Man too. And
the Hulk was going to be the main character behind that the Avengers rallied behind, and instead it was Iron Man. But they look how seamlessly, you can look at it now and it looks planned, but it's like everything had, and it's because Marvel doesn't look at it as this project has to, you know, it has to fly or die on its own. This project fly or die on its own. They looked at it as an investment, and Captain America only needs to make $300 and something million. That is not big, huge blockbuster territory. But it was enough. It didn't matter. It was all building toward the Avengers. And so I think getting back more toward, sorry, I hit my mic, getting back more toward that approach is going to be helpful to them. The slowing down a bit, getting spending under control. Feige, they've got the TV stuff and the streaming set up. So I think going forward, as they pull back and as they're going to delay the projects, absence will make the heart grow fonder, I think. So when they come back and it's retooled, that's all they need is, well, if the problem is essentially people are overworked because there's too many things and the public is seeing too many things, then okay, you just make less of those things. While taking into account that theatrical and streaming are evolving, the technologies we experience them through are evolving. Augmented reality is going to be the big push. I know the Apple Watch is really, the wearable thing is setting up the idea of your phone. It's not going to be glasses. It's going to be your phone and your watch are going to be, and you'll be able to have you'll just be able to pop it up right into your hand and see it and use it and interact that way or whatever. People are going to be watching phones on their hand when you're on the bus and on the subway and on the plane. That's going to be happening, and it's not that far away relatively. So you have to take that into account, that how people consume this stuff is changing. The youngest generation that watches TikTok, well, how do you reach them? What are you going to do to get them in the seats? I suggested Marvel really should have reached out to Taylor Swift and arranged a private screening for her and her boyfriend and invited them, shown them, and then afterwards said, look, we'd love someday when you're done with your tour, let's talk about like Dazzler movie or something like that. I'm just spitballing, but I'm saying right now,
it's not a bad idea.
There's a movie.
Probably would work.
Look at that concert movie and what it did. It's a statement of how much cinema is changing and how people are consuming Taylor Swift music at a movie theater and movies on their phone. We live in a crazy world.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also just think because I fully agree, but I also just think that for the people who've been invested throughout the MCU for ever since it was a thing, right? It's also just been a lot of setup for a couple years now, right? It makes complete sense that sales have taken a little bit of a dip, right? Because there was this insanely high peak after 11 years, and then now they're trying to build up the next part. And there has been a lot of properties, right? Some good, some bad. I don't like all of them. But I guess it's also a little bit of I think a lot of people don't really know where it's heading. They don't know what's being set up yet, right?
Yeah.
But once that actually starts becoming real, once we start getting some of those bigger movies, right? Of course, the Avengers movies, but also the Fantastic Four, the X-Men eventually, someone like the Captain America, right? Then the hype will start to return, right? We'll be like, okay, people are back on it, right? I don't think superhero movies are going anywhere.
No,
not at all.
It's just a genre that is like any genre. It hits a peak, but then when it levels out, if it's a genre that's going to remain popular perpetually, like every year rom-coms, every year horror movies, every year summer action movies, superhero movies are always going to be around. And Marvel's not going anywhere. It's going to be probably still the most successful studio over the course of the next 10 years. I'd still bet on Marvel to beat every other studio.
I feel like people are looking at Marvel as if it's just Marvel is the series, and as let's say it's just some movie franchise, and one or two of the sequels do poorly, so they stop making sequels to that franchise. When it's no, it's a studio that's making a shitload of titles. It's not the same thing as just a series of movies or whatever.
Right.
And then at the same time, you've got,
what if they did? You could, what if hypothetically, what if Marvel was we're going to make Savage Sword of Conan, we're going to make Tomb of Dracula? If they hypothetically could kind of spin in that direction if they wanted to.
I wish they would make more stuff like Werewolf by Night. That was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You could. There's an argument for that. Really, Lucasfilm should be Marvel Lucasfilm and have Marvel start doing the Star Wars movies. They did a tremendous job with the comics.
True.
I like it's. I don't dislike the movies, but I do like them. But then again, all the streaming stuff for Star Wars is like, I'm really a big fan of it. So maybe they don't need that. I don't know.
Like right now we've got the Marvels, which is the topic of everybody's, everybody's talking about the Marvels and it's a big flop, and it is. And it's like, but at the same time, you've got Loki, which, in my opinion, that finale is just one of the best bits of Marvel content that I've seen. And and that's not getting talked about as much, but it's like both of these things can exist at the same time. That kind of is more like the status quo going forward, probably. Like that, like you might have one thing that's not as good, and then one thing that's really good out at the exact same time, because it's a studio putting out a bunch of stuff.
I think until a certain point, I do think eventually we'll be back at the point where Marvel Studios will be getting like bangers quite consistently, right? But it again, like it is they are starting their whole new saga of movies, right? And they are also trying a bunch of different things, right? Getting some newer heroes that people don't really know about, right? Like similar to what they did when they started the MCU.
Yes.
And I do think a lot of them, these properties could be done better, right? Like had more time in the cooker, but like I do think we're going to get back to the point where the hype is going to be pretty high for MCU movies, right? And the movies are going to be like consistently good and well received.
Yeah,
but of course I don't know, but that's at least my prediction.
Look how long we haven't had an Avengers movie in 4 years, and I know it's not all Avengers, and it's Marvel can't win because if everything is connected, then people are going to complain, and then if things aren't connected, people are going to complain, and it's because I think the trick for me has been trying to figure out what's the real complaint. In screenwriting, we say, what's the note behind the note? And that's the most important. Like when somebody complains about something, they frequently, what's really bugging them might be something else that they can't identify. But, and I think I think a lot of what we're talking about here is kind of that. I do believe that with the lack of the Avengers movies, because they weren't building toward that, and we didn't it's not that they're not building toward it. It's just the connective tissue wasn't there as much, and people were used to the Avengers. They were used to a certain approach, and the fact that what they were getting was not really conforming to that, and we haven't seen an Avengers, and it's like, well, who are the Avengers even? Because aren't the Avengers all either dead or retired or old now or what? So or on TV shows, it's hard to know what's for a average audience, because they're not watching they're not reading my articles, they're not on Twitter talking about it, they're not watching the various people that are discussing it on podcasts. The average public doesn't know all the stuff that we know about. They see the trailers and they might see the review in the local paper, look at Rotten Tomatoes, but that's about it. So
I feel like Marvel's kind of suffering from this A+ student syndrome, where like, they like you point out in your article, there's that 2-3 year period where they were just knocking them out of the park and hitting $1 billion with almost every single movie. And then they, it's like a student that's always getting A+, right? And then suddenly that kid gets a B- or something. And it's like the parents are like, oh my God, what happened? How could this happen? You know what I mean? That's kind of the sense I get of it. But
think about that run of movies where it was Infinity War, Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like, what? That is an insane run of 4 movies. And what did that do to the average Marvel? Well, the average per movie box office, when you make $6 billion off of 4 movies in a row, or maybe more than $6 billion. I think that's right. I said that without doing
let's talk about the per film average, which is what I really found the most interesting. Just like framing it that way, it really kind of breaks all the bullshit down, I think. So the let's see, so the per film average for the entire the Infinity Saga was 925, or I'm sorry, no,
like
20 billion. Okay, sorry,
like 935 billion.
935,
something like
it was
that.
935 million. But then you look back at, let's say, Phase 1 was 634 million per film average. Phase 2 was 876. And then, like, so far, prior to Marvels, because this was written before the Marvels came out, and that's definitely, going to factor in a little bit. But, like, prior to that, this post-Endgame, it was something like It was at something like 800 and something.
It was in the 800 million range. It depends on it's in the 800 million, but how high is it depends on if I was counting and some of it, and I tried to mention in there that with the Spider-Man movie coming out right after Endgame, that they kind of include that and say it's like a postscript, but I never honestly. The postscript idea seemed weird to me. So I can there's the Infinity Saga, and then there's the multiverse saga, but there's also the post Endgame era. And post Endgame, it's like 817 million, I want to say, average. But without Spider-Man, it's like right just under or just over 800 million, but something like that in the 800 million range, regardless. Yeah.
Not super duper low compared to other heroes so far. It's not like it's
in like the post end game, like are we talking about Far From Home or No Way Home?
Far From Home.
Far From Home, yeah.
That came out it came out in 2019.
Yeah. Because I've heard like it was referred to as like the official end of the Infinity Saga, but like it doesn't.
Which is, I don't buy that. It's a
two-parter.
It ends on a cliffhanger.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
I think they wanted to use Endgame to essentially help market and hype the movie. It was in the same year. It was like Christmas time, right? It came out. I think did it come out at Christmas that year?
It was summer.
Was it summer? That was summer, and the other one was Christmas.
Oh yeah. No Way Home, I think, was Christmas time.
That makes So with Endgame, using Endgame kind of as like, well, it's the final chapter, as like they needed an extra boost to get people to show up for a Spider-Man movie, and of course they didn't.
Yeah.
But I think that was generally the sense of it, was just from a marketing strategy. It kind of made a lot of sense. But
it's like
financially,
like this is the big final finale, but not actually, because there's just this extra one. I'm just like, But now we're done.
Well, I mean, we've done lots of comparing of like Phase 4 and Phase 5 to like the pre-pandemic movies, and I you've already brought it up. I just thought it'd be good to bring up the numbers to a movie that looks like it's on the same box office trajectory as the Marvels, and that's The Incredible Hulk from 2008. Marvels, I think, just opened to 47 million, and this opened to 55 million. End up around 250.
Yep. I think that's about right. It would really need miraculous holds to top 300 million at this point. It's playing, and I'm not saying this to be snarky, but it's playing like a DCEU movie right now, is what it's playing like.
That's a good point, though, because like how many people are acting like Marvel's done for. And it's like, how many times has DC had a movie that performed about like this or worse in a couple of cases? And it's like, come on now, if DC is still around making movies, I think Marvel's going to be fucking fine. They've got some.
I mean, for what it's worth, Marvel's destroyed Shazam 2.
There are outlets that were trying to argue that no, Black Adam is profitable while it was still in theaters, and we're like, oh, Black Adam's profitable. That are now taking the position that Marvel is hopeless. And I'm going, it's been like 5 or 6, how many years now? 6 years of DCEU movies, none of them for 6 years, 6 years worth, and like 8 movies in a row, and they've all made under $400 million. And DC's around, and it's like, oh, but there's Superman movies coming, and we're all sure it's going to be a big hit. And I do think it will be, and I'm excited for it, but let's be consistent. If that can happen, don't tell me that Marvel is reeling and on the verge of collapse right now because they're only averaging 780 to 800 million per movie. No. If this is a collapse for Marvel, if that's what a collapse looks like, they're going to be fine forever.
Good point.
Indeed.
Well, did you want to talk about any of the I don't know how much time you have left, but did you want to talk about your go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, do you want to talk about like your thoughts on like the toxic fandoms that have really kind of spread out?
Yeah, the only point it's kind of redundant, and I hate giving them too much attention, but I do think it's worth noting that like if we want to step back objectively and look at this and say a huge portion of what's going on is because there's a large number of young guys who feel disaffected out there and lonely and there's a lot of people who prey on that and who tell them, if you're not getting what you want and you feel unliked or whatever, it's either your fault or someone else's, another person's fault, rather than a complex convergence of many other factors, including the existence of these pseudo head up the ass gurus and that preach all this stuff. But these are, it's in large part, it's a whole lot of people that are being made to feel resentful and behave in toxic, horrible ways because there are people making money off convincing them to do it. People who want to be essentially king of the dipshits. So they make these king of the dipshit video shows on YouTube or on Twitter where they preach all this nonsense and they talk about red pilling and all that. This is a group of guys who are actually horrible, awful humans, and they are convincing a whole lot of sad, lonely, isolated people. And I'm not making excuses for them. I mean, people have to take responsibility for their behavior. And if you're toxic, you're toxic. Fuck you. But at the same time, I'll say I understand that people who are immature and who haven't lived a lot of life and don't have a lot of information, it's easy to prey on them. And that's why they're frequently targets of crap like this. And these guys are convincing all of you that think that way to behave this way and do this because they can get money off it. They sell shit, they advertise, they get your clicks by convincing you to be miserable and think either there's something wrong with you or everybody else caused it. And the really insidious part is their messaging is actually, when you get right down to it, that it is you, that you're unlikable and unlovable after all, that you're not good enough. And so you should hate all those people. They act like it's not really you. It's all them who owe it to you. But they feed the sense that it really is these people. And that's why they end up wanting to commit suicide and go kill everybody. They get brainwashed and dragged into this all because people are making a buck off of them trying to be king of the dipshits. Like, oh, well, you know, and it weeds out competition for these king of the dipshit guys. They look around and think there's only so many people that aren't having a lot of luck who might have some luck. And I think I really think part of them thinks, oh, I'll make money off of other people that are lonely and miserable because of things in life. And then I'll make them so miserable, they'll also kill themselves. They'll follow me. They'll do everything. I'll tell them to do shit wrong so they never actually make friends or get a girlfriend. All of it is insidious in that way. It turns you, it makes you really do. It does make you hate yourself because you do everything that they're telling you to do. And look it doesn't change anything for these guys. They remain incels, right? They remain incels. They're miserable. And then they all snap and go do crazy shit because people are exploiting them.
There's the other insidious level to some of these guys too. The ones that we tend to look at a lot are is that there's the right-wing political angle. Like several of these guys are like just, you know, known to be connected to right-wing media organizations and stuff like that, you know, like Blaze TV and whatnot. You know, and you can see the narratives are just like mapping over 100% from what they're saying on these explicitly political shows to like what they're saying with the subtext or even the text of the nerd content, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always the same thing. Looking for people who are vulnerable and susceptible to this, and these young guys, especially young white men. It's, you know, they say it's not true, but subconsciously, if you know, well, there's white privilege in society, there's male privilege in society, things are generally geared toward favoring me. And then these guys look at their life and are like, and yet my life sucks. Am I so inadequate that even with the playing field tilted like this, I can't succeed? And then these guys come along and tell them, that's right, you can't. You're a loser because you can't. Or maybe it's because you could, but people are mad at you and are putting things in your way. And then once people start thinking it's blaming other people for it, attacking and hating other people for their gender, all of that stuff opens the door for the rest of the right-wing thought. All of it does, because that's what it all is foundationally. That's what it all boils down to.
It's good to hear you say that. We talk about this quite often on the show, and we wonder how many people in other spaces, like, you know, the writing space and entertainment industry, how many of them are aware of what's actually happening. And it sounds like you guys are even more aware than most of the people here on YouTube. So
people are, but I started in political journalism. So I dealt with in DC, dealt with the neo-Nazis and a lot of the right wing 20 years ago, writing and working in DC, and and breaking 2x4s over neo-Nazis' heads in the street in fights. It got really ugly back in the day. That was the kind of thing that would happen. They'd come into neighborhoods and attack people, and you'd have to fight back. And I think they figured out they're not going to win trying to take it city by city, fighting in the streets. They talk tough, and the people that are like that, they talk tough, but they know they're an even smaller portion of the public than people even really realize. When you start doing the math and demographically, like, well, it's mostly adult white men, and adult white men are only about 30%, 33% of the population at most, closer to 30%. And it's only about half of them. So it's like 15%. And most of them are a bunch of old fucking guys who can't actually go street fight, or they're young teenagers, or they're just the general right-wing coward. You start narrowing it down, and it's like, man, this is like 10% of people. They're just so loud. They walk around with a megaphone shoved in their mouth. And that's why. That's all. So that's my soapbox. Sorry. Anyway.
no, it's great to get that from you. And it's nice to hear that other people are aware of this. Because, I mean, I just know I stumbled into it kind of last year. I always knew these guys existed. And then I started realizing how much influence they had as it spilled over into my comments more and more. I was like, are you guys really believing this?
Yeah.
I guess, do we want to look over, like, one of those takes on the Marvels came out. Do we want to look over that?
Yeah, let's look at one of those.
I've got a couple more minutes. I'd be happy to see one.
So Chris Gore here, a very fancy guy, turning Marvel and Star Wars into girl brands will prove to be one of the costliest decisions in the entertainment history, which is just
when your masculinity is so fragile, you're in perpetual moral panic that everyone is laughing and is aware of how inadequate you are, then this is the kind of nonsense you say. I mean, that's it. That's really what that comes down to. Who let the girls in the clubhouse is what it's all about. It's all a bunch of infantilized baby men toddling around.
Well, and like this guy, presents himself as like somewhat of an expert on film and theater, cinema and stuff like that. And it's like, how can you not understand that Marvel could not be where the dominant force that it has become without a bunch of women and girls seeing the movies? And you know what I mean? It's just couldn't have happened. It's absurd.
Is crazy that's even. I mean, that's real. He said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Well, a while back they were saying him and a couple of others. They were saying, make Marvel male again.
Oh yeah.
They made T-shirts on that one.
It's again the same thing of the kind of guys these guys aspire to be. What the whole incel community sells is this idea that there's a certain way you can behave, and here's a list of things to do, and how alphas and betas, all this nonsense that they think this is what confident, smart, cool people who are well liked and who people want to be friends with or go out with. They have this idea that there's this list of stuff. The kind of people that are like confident and have all that stuff don't give a shit about these lists. They don't give a shit about what anybody on the internet thinks about them. And if you walked up and were like, I don't think that shirt makes you look manly, they'd be like, I don't think your face makes you look manly. Fuck off. Honestly, that's the sort of, they have this idea that they need to do something. And their masculinity depends on what other people think of it. It can't stand on its own. They can't stand on their own. They're in perpetual threat. And that's why it's this sense of these guys who feel inadequate. And then there are these bozos that want to be king of the dipshit, and they convince a whole lot of other guys to go along with it because it's an easy, cheap, lazy answer. And unfortunately, that appeals to a lot of people, especially younger people who are inexperienced and don't really know where to turn and don't know, what to do about a lot of these things. And so they all turn into assholes.
Yeah.
Well, you said you had a few minutes left. I was going to ask if there's anything you want to promote, shout out.
Well, I do have a podcast called with my co-writer Phil Moe, who's also a screenwriter and is my brother-in-law as well, and it's called What's Worth Watching Podcast. It's on Podbean. Worth Watch Pod is the handle on Twitter. If you're still in the radioactive cesspool of Twitter, you can find us there. It's just it's a little quieter podcast. We do a lot of retrospectives and things like that, and deep dives into conversations about filmmakers and stuff. So, and try to counter a lot of the toxic nonsense that's out there.
Nice.
So, and of course, Forbes. I'm a freelance writer, so anything I say here does not represent Forbes. I represent me and my asshole opinions, I guess, depending on your perspective. Yeah.
Well, I mean, thanks very much for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It was awesome.
I appreciate y'all having me on, and
really
I'm sorry
insightful,
about I know people. If anyone listening, if you could hear barking dogs and lawn noise, then unfortunately, it's our village here does
not even a big deal, man. It's totally worth it. Georgia's live.
I had vacuuming, so
as long as next time you bring the dog into the room, then we're fine.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I should have brought her in here.
Exactly,
I was afraid.
Yes, now you got to come on another time.
Yeah, I'll just have the dog on. You can invite her. She'll
just sit right there. Thank you for the article. You know, we'll keep following you, and
everyone will bring their pets, like DJ.
Yeah,
yeah.
Pets are a bonus 10 viewers.
Well, I will next time. I will bring Cindy. She's an awesome dog, so I'll bring her in here, and she'll be happy to do it. Thank you, and thanks everybody that tuned in to listen. I'm a little different live and in person than on Twitter, just because on Twitter it's kind of like you're just hitting the meatballs everywhere sometimes.
I think that everybody is at this point. Like Twitter's just a shit show now that you kind of have to be like armor up all the time on there.
Yeah,
that's where I think like half the people who follow me are just there to just like try to make fun of everything I say, and it'll even be benign shit. It's like, do you guys have nothing better to do?
There's a lot of bot activity, and I know there's a couple of people that are perpetually troll me. That a couple of guys that have multiple accounts, and they have them all up, and they're swapping between them. But in general, it's just like most of these people, they're silly teenagers or grown men who unfortunately are just stunted. But at least the younger ones, there's a chance of getting through to them, especially when if you could just get them to notice that like these people telling you to act like this and spreading this stuff don't have your best interest in mind. They want you to have a miserable, horrible life to justify their claims and make money off you. I mean, that's really it. There's no advantage for any of you guys. So
thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one, man.
Y'all take care.
You too.
You gonna restart, DJ? We got a lot of comments here. Let's look at them. By the way, anybody that's just like commenting, directing at one of us and trying to like say do this content about this one YouTuber or whatever, like don't do that. I'm putting you on timeout. You know, you can come back to timeout and not be that way, and you can stay around. But like that's not how things go around here.
Yeah, while we're doing the questions, before we get to the reaction stuff, because I know we're heading there or whatever, I'm going to try and restart everything because I was getting major lag there and it was causing overlap and stuff. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back.
Sounds good. Also, just mention like the thing with mentioning like recommendations for videos or like go do this. Like I'm sure we all are always down for recommendations or like in the comments section, someone being like, hey, would you mind checking out this person, right? But it's like, please just don't spam it, right? Like
because to me, I don't know
in a chat. Like if you spam it in the comments, I almost don't care. But if you spam it in chat, it's like, dude, other people are
it starts to look like you're maybe like got some kind of agenda, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
And especially also if like we're on stream, right, and we're talking to a special guest or something, right, and someone comes on and just starts being like, respond to this guy, look at this guy, look at this guy. It's also kind of like disrespectful to the conversation that's being that's happening at the moment. So it's just like we're always down for recommendations for people to look at, but just like the time and place is important, and please don't spam it because then we're just not gonna want to.
Yeah.
We're gonna read some, go through some comments, but first I wanted to, has everybody seen these outtakes from the Chris Pratt Garfield trailer?
I apologize in advance. Sometimes when I wipe, I'll wipe and I'll wipe and I'll wipe and I'll wipe 100 times. Still poop. Still poop. It's like I'm wiping a marker or something. Shit my pants on camera. I have hot snakes, you guys. When the diarrhea comes out like a hot snake. I get hot snakes and bubble gut.
You know what's crazy is I definitely like poop. I just poop my pants.
I used to guys like you in prison. This is not consensual sex we're talking about.
Wow. I don't know if I like the direction they're going with that. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If they do a Roadhouse remake with Garfield instead of Dalton, I might be down. Or Garfield and Dalton team up. I am down.
I'm just gonna say that to me, I think is a little bit too woke. Yeah,
It might be low woke. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where I that's it for me. It's too much.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm out.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Fucking yeah. Having like
That was a really good conversation.
guy that knows what he's talking about on to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got a little bit derailed at a point with the AI, but it was still fun, and we got it back. But it was
Ooh, now that's an idea.
Well, I mean, the AI is somewhat related to.
ban him. Ban him.
What? A video with maybe we should do a live stream sometime. I don't know.
Something.
That would be better.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do a live stream sometime.
And also Chaos Sonic. It's all right. Just please don't do it again. All right.
All right. So we looking at some comments now from way back. Well, we kind of answered that. Had him account for that on stream as we learned about it. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way. We'll just have to see what happens, what really the point is behind it. It seems like part of it is that because the movie got pushed back a year, he's already working on the sequel to Shang-Chi as well as Wonder Man TV show. Maybe as simple as that.
Listen, I'm fine with them focusing on Shang-Chi too.
Mm-hmm.
I love the first one, and I want to see what he's doing. And yeah.
Oh, thank you. You as well.
Thank
I
you.
mean, yeah, they've been in a similar spot, but with and that is the thing that I definitely really learned that lesson reading the story of Marvel Studios books, where it's almost like they're defined by kind of like when things start going poorly for them, they pivot and do better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whenever I started realizing, they're not making everybody happy right now. I'm like, I'm kind of excited about what comes next then.
Exactly. That's the thing. Kevin Feige and the team, they're not dumb.
No.
They understand when their properties aren't hitting like they should. And then they'll try stuff to rectify that.
Like with Age of Ultron's, I think it's a good movie. I defend it. But there are people that think it's kind of just bad. But then after that, they pivoted and did Civil War. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then Phase 3 was fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like except for like a couple that I wasn't as fond with, like Phase 3 just in general is just amazing. And that was because they pivoted correctly.
I mean, I agree with this. Like, just too much going on that, like, if they haven't figured out a formula, or not a formula, I don't want to use that word, but like a method for keeping all these irons hot in the fire and them all coming out, relatively enjoyable, then they need to definitely scale back.
Well, I think Turf was bringing up something. I didn't want to derail the conversation, but I kind of want to go back to it now. Turf, you're talking about how Kang seems like kind of like an inconsistent villain, and we're not really sure what they're doing with him. And I remember throughout the first 3 phases of the MCU, that was a lot of what was being said about Thanos. And the movie that changed it was Infinity War.
To me, what it seems kind of clear what they were trying to do or had in mind with Kang is that they wanted to be able to have these different versions of him in different projects throughout, because like one of the main issues with Thanos was like, oh, we get a couple of teases here and then suddenly he's there. And it's like they kind of seem to want to do the exact opposite. They want to give us a very human, character that's also a threat, but also we get these different sides of him. You get this actor that can do all this range and stuff, and like, and that was working out okay so far, for beginning stages until he, became clear he's whatever shitty guy he is. Yeah, I think this is Sony's day, man. Sony's about to fucking just take out the MCU. The in association with Marvel is about to be bigger than the MCU.
Madam Web, a character that everybody loves, might just be getting a.
I told Turf earlier. I was like, dude, I wouldn't read a Madam Web comic. I'll be honest. Like, she shows up in Spider-Man stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, but like,
yeah, no, she's like the supporting character, and usually when she pops up, it's like, oh, I'm probably gonna get bored now, aren't I?
I said on Twitter, I was like, Batgirl got shit canned, and then there's this, and it's like, this is the darkest timeline, And that's me. I'm a Marvel fan, and I'm like wishing that we got that DC movie instead.
Yeah, no, well, Batgirl has way more of a following than Madam Web.
He's coming closer. Oh, I didn't even hear him breathing hard. Okay.
Well, actually, going to what you're saying, I know Deadpool 3 was one of the projects that went into shooting day one after the actor strike ended. They were just like, okay, let's start shooting this right now.
And it does seem like they're doing Deadpool kills the Fox universe, which should be pretty fun,
Yeah, it could be fun, yeah.
So, I mean, look, this type of thing, I don't think that saying they were right about it flopping is accurate, even though it's like, yes, it flopped. Yes, they said it was going to flop, but those two things are not the same in the sense that, like, everything, all the context behind the reason they're saying it's going to flop and why it did are just vastly fucking different. To even say it this way is giving them too much credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like somehow getting a math question wrong, even though you're your methodology was completely wrong.
Right.
You still somehow guessed it.
I mean, their whole argument as to why it's flopping, which I don't know why I put in quotation, because I mean, you could argue it is, but then I think it is, using their argument, why didn't Captain Marvel flop? Why didn't Wonder Woman flop? Why didn't the Star Wars sequel trilogy flop? No matter how much
look
they try
on
to claim
YouTube
it.
at how much fucking Captain Marvel is gonna flop content there is prior to the release of Captain Marvel, the original. And then rethink this is all I'm saying. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, it sucks that they get to take that as a win and present it to their fucking audience as a win.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna save them, honestly. I don't think it's gonna stop the CHUDBLOCK.
Like the weird thing is, I'm sure they would probably want this movie to do better, because I think they would want, they would have wished that the actors would have been able to do press for this, because that's where their content would come from. And if the actress was able to do that, right, the movie would have just done better. I don't know if it would have been like a high-grossing movie, but it would have done better. It's like it's that weird conundrum that we're always in, right? That these people prey on the downfalls of these big franchises, but they also rely on them for their views and their money.
Yep.
I mean,
it's not a coincidence. I think that the every course of the strikes, but then everything else going on with theatrical releases and just the changing habits and stuff have happened at the same time as the. It's not a coincidence. I got to do that once a stream. Sorry.
Yeah. They don't have 100 YouTube interviews of Brie Larson having a human moment and being able to make fun of that because they suck.
Let's see. We got a really, really insightful comment here. You guys are so full of shit.
True.
I mean,
it is true. I wasn't
able
able to finish my bathroom stop before the stream started. So
oh man, this sucks.
I'm kind of full of shit.
How you doing, Turf? Did you get are you regular and you all cleared out and everything?
I mean, I took a shit this morning, so I'm pretty, in a couple hours it'll be ready to pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm almost full of shit.
It's very nice of you to be concerned about our digestive and our bowel movements. It's very nice of you, dude.
Nice. You want to give us colonoscopy or something, or what are you trying to say here? Because I don't know. Are you licensed in that kind of thing? Anyway, I wouldn't. What did you guys like Quantumania at all? What did you think?
I thought it was entertaining, but completely forgettable, kind of outside of Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, I mean,
it has good moments, but yeah.
I think I made it known with how disappointed I was that it wasn't part of our phase 4 tier list.
Yeah,
because I was so ready to put it in the bottom tier because I really did not like it, and I just think it was like you said, a very forgettable movie. And to me, that is like the worst thing a movie can be. That's forgettable. Like just a simply like bad movie can be entertaining in a way, right? But
like
this
couldn't.
movie
I
was
was
just it
frustrated
just
watching
made
it.
me feel nothing. No, go.
I just couldn't connect with it. Like on like a character level, it's like I know these characters broadly. I mean, I know Scott Lang and stuff, and it's like nobody's doing a bad job or anything. It's like it was really hard to kind of put my finger on it, honestly. But like, yeah.
I mean, the character with the most convincing and compelling arc was MODOK, which felt very strange.
It was a little bit like
hanging out and stuff, and like, yeah.
It was.
That's a good Lucifer. A good point. This kind of makes up for your problematic anti-Latvian position, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, people like to try to make these act like the box office is back just because we had some big movies, and the fact is, it's better than it was doing in 2022. But the box office is not back, and honestly, the strikes are probably going to set it back even a bit more because. Pretty much Barbie and Oppenheimer have been the only huge successes during the strike, and those came out like right after the SAG strike started. Pretty much since then, movies have been kind of floating by.
This raises a good point because, like, I mean, obviously the way that you judge whether a movie failed or not is whether it made enough money, and like, but at the same time, I'm curious, how are the studios shifting how they look at this? Like, are they putting more emphasis on post theater money, you know what I mean? Like, whereas like typically historically the way that they focus on it is like, yeah, they're going to make money on home video, but we really want to make all of our money as much as we can in theater release, right? But like they have to at some point start shifting to kind of like thinking more long term, like how much that might this make on streaming, right? I don't know.
I probably think like it's somewhere like both, you know? Like I think streaming for them now has become a big safety net for even something like the Marvels, which is flopping, and it's probably not going to save itself that much. Will still be on streaming, and I'm sure it'll still make money for them, you know?
So I mean,
for years and years to come.
That's the crazy thing. So like the window for lots of streaming stuff for these, especially these studios that have streaming services, it's about 6 weeks. So like Marvel's not doing great in the box office. That tells people, oh, well, that's going to be on Disney Plus in 6 weeks. I can just watch it.
That's the thing. Like I'm like debating whether I should go spend money on like tickets here, which are fucking expensive to watch the Marvels, or I could watch one of the other movies that's out at the moment, right? Like the new Hunger Games one, or I still haven't watched Killers of the Flower Moon, right? And then I'm thinking, like, I might as well just watch it when it comes out on streaming, right? Like, I still want to watch it, but I can wait.
How many?
I think a lot of people are going to think like,
is it over there, like, or whatever, dollary doodly do? What do you got?
Dollar, probably like $1 million, I think. Okay. Yeah. No.
You must make more money than we do. The Disney paychecks must be good.
And
let me just.
Yes.
No, not the Swedish crown. Danish crown. Wait, let me
Can't
just find
confirm.
out.
Both goes fucking phenomenal.
It's around like $21.
Damn.
Ooh, damn.
Which is just annoying. And it's like, for some
really pricey.
There's also only one cinema in my city, and it's like they have like luxurious seats, but I'm like I don't need them. Well, that's how they're justifying it. It's like give me just give me normal seats. I don't want to pay that.
I mean,
much.
I go to the one with the fancy seats too, and it's about $12.
I like the fancy seats, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Now I also do the AMC Stubs thing because I go see so many movies. So yeah, that's 3 movies a week that are paid for.
By the way, we got like 104 people watching across 5 channels right now. So wherever you're watching, hit the like button and the subscribe button and the fucking comment button and the fucking dislike button. I don't care. We don't care. Just do it. Interact with the stream, please.
Oh no, no. Please don't give us dislikes. It'll ruin our feelings. It'll make us so sad.
Dude,
and I'll
if you
cry.
give me a dislike, I might delete my channel.
Yeah.
I can't handle any
if we
more
get this
dislikes.
video to 100,000 dislikes, we'll all delete our channels.
What if they say things mean to us in the comment section, though?
True. If
That
you
would
say mean
kill
things
me.
in my comments, oh, it's gonna hurt.
I'd probably stop making
Oh.
videos about the critical drinker. That's for
Oh
sure.
Yeah.
no! What if they say we're cucks or shills or something? Oh wait, that's the name of our stream.
No.
Not cucks, but shills.
Call me a man, baby. Oh no. Call me a beta. Oh.
Please don't mention Tyrone. I can't.
Yeah, you can't take it, guys.
Okay. Now this is it. I'm about to show you a comment that I do have a fucking problem with. Okay, like, do not come to this fucking stream talking shit on Doom. Okay.
Dude, Doctor Doom, when done properly, is such a badass. It's ridiculous.
No, and it gets worse. They get real problematic here with their Doom takes. You know, but Lucifer's awesome.
Yeah, Lucifer was great, but yeah, God, I would love to actually see a properly done Doctor Doom. We've had so many film versions of Doctor Doom, and they've all sucked to some degree.
Who do you want to play? Who do you want to play Doctor Doom?
Oh God,
Victor. Because I know a popular fan cast is Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
Well,
because
he's got to be in the MCU. I don't know.
Yeah, he's already been in the MCU.
Different.
That's people that say that they don't know what Doom's about. They don't really know Doom.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a great villain actor.
The actor needs to be fucking gorgeous, but he also needs to be willing to wear a fucking mask because he's no longer gorgeous because he's been disfigured by his own experimentation. Because that's Doom. It's like his vanity is the reason he wears the mask. It's a part of his character. You know, he got fucked up. But then we got a couple of comments saying Marvel's is good, Marvel's is great, it's fine. You know, it's good to hear.
I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it before the podcast. We're covering on the podcast next week.
Death's Head 2 is the one they need to do. Fuck yes. Death's Head 2. Yes. I need to do a video about Death's Head 2. Marvel's was fine. Chuds are overreacting. Couldn't be the Chuds.
What? Chuds are always sane and reasonable. What are you talking about?
No.
There's a reason they're called Chuds.
Actor strike, yeah. I like Incredible Hulk. If you haven't seen my Hulk video, I do kind of go into that a little bit on there, and I do, for the time that it came out, I think it's a pretty good, solid companion movie for Iron Man in that year, right? Like,
it has charm.
Yeah, it feels like a big budget version of the old series, and the old series has its charm too. So it's not bad.
I haven't watched that movie since like 2012.
Wow.
And I remember it more than Quantumania. So that's a big.
You're gonna go back to bashing on Quantumania. Okay.
I hate it. I genuinely do not like Quantumania.
I mean, if you compare 2008 Incredible Hulk to the 2003 Ang Lee one, you really see some distinction there, because, like, holy shit, I get what Ang Lee was going for. He was trying to do a thing, and it's like, you know, otherwise he's a great filmmaker, but like,
well, yeah, no, he like, and I think Ang Lee's Hulk had a fantastic cast too. It just, yeah, I think Ang Lee was doing something different.
There's a lot of like panels moving, you know, like he was trying to do comic book panels, and then it was just like, and then there was that one part where the dude blows up and he like turns into like a still frozen thing, and he's like, oh no.
Like you're taking the comic book thing too literally.
Fucking Star Trek fandom, like Star Trek would not exist if not for the women who were the original fandom of Star Trek, who did the organizing, who put on the first conventions, who, you know, wrote the letter campaign to get it back on the air and syndication and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, and that's especially within Star Trek fandom, but any fandom really, but like especially in Star Trek, whenever I see people trying to like gatekeep women out of it, you know, it's like, fuck you, dude. This thing wouldn't exist without women.
You want to know what I find crazy? Because like I've been going back and watching older Star Trek and newer Star Trek. What I find crazy is that the political messaging in old Star Trek is actually way more overt than it is in new Star Trek. The only thing new Star Trek is doing is involving more major cast members who are essentially women and minorities. That's it. Like political messaging in Star Trek can get pretty goddamn overt back in the day. Like it doesn't hide it.
Damn, and we got a lot of good comments while we were reading comments. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll have to come back for those maybe. Because we're reactionaries, guys.
Yeah. We react to stuff, making us reactionary.
You guys ready to be some reactionaries? I was kind of waiting on DJ, but maybe he couldn't get his stuff restarted.
I know he's having technical issues.
Well, let's see what we got here. I know we've got some MCU cringe compilations. You guys, I've got 5 of them. Let's just I'll name them off, and you can tell me which one we should look at.
Right.
MCU cringe being cringe in Phase 4. MCU 4 being absolute cringe for 5 minutes and 40 something seconds. The MCU being cringe for 6 minutes. Or the MCU being even more cringe for 6 minutes. Or in Curveball, the MCU destroying characters for 11 minutes.
Okay, so I want the one that doesn't cherry pick very specific scenes just to make it look bad.
Okay, we're canceling this segment.
This is what, I think just for the sake of making this interesting, we should go with one of the first ones, because that I'm sure like they've compiled their best list, and then they saw that was popular, and then they've like tried to find others.
They might have started scraping the bottom of the barrel with the sequel ones, right?
I think they did that in the beginning, right? But yeah, the first one is bound to be like their like this is my one shot, and then the sequels after, which is not as good.
We'll start. Let's see, how long is this one? It is okay. This one's just 1 minute and 16 seconds. It's like a little sketch they did, and these are mostly different channels, by the way. And these videos have a shitload of views. Apparently, this is just an easy way to get some clicks.
Yeah.
The MCU an unpayable debt, but lately you have lost your way. There are some.
I just want to say I'm thankful for that very real and human voice. It sounds great.
Who prefer the word embarrassing.
And what word would you use, Mr. Secretary?
How about cringe?
Unless you're afraid.
I just wanted you guys to know I'm laughing at it, not with it. So
not gonna lie though, that was a pretty hard line. That was
not in the least. All right, listen up. Here's the.
Okay, so let's take a minute here. What's cringe about that?
The only thing I could say is the CGI on his third eye should have been a lot better, but you can't even tell because it's a crappy cam version.
Right.
So it loses that argument.
The eye does look funny.
It looks funny, right?
I don't know if I'd call this cringe.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness was a solid movie.
So far, this video is cringier than the things it's reacting to. So I want to see them balance the scales.
And at some point, I think we're gonna have to get into what is cringe.
Define our
ContraPoint
terms.
did a really great video on this at one point, but generally, I have my takes on it. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
we're gonna sneak our way towards Stormbreaker, being very careful not to bump into any of those big shadow monsters. They're behind me, aren't they?
What? Like, okay, like there's lots of things in Love and Thunder that I don't like, but like, what are you going for with that? Just he's talking to kids.
Look, I will go ahead and say that Axel's apparition, which is the meme's proper name, that is in here, I think, and it definitely was pretty cringe just because of the CGI. It was terrible.
Yeah, the CGI looked bad on it. Yeah,
but they fixed it in the digital, I guess. But yeah, that I don't know what's cringe about that. It's just an age-old joke, maybe you could say that that's a played-out form of joke. Like, oh, it's right, but they're right behind me, aren't they? But like, it's kids. There's like, I don't know. I liked the kid aspect of it, like where they were kind of like all the kids played a role and stuff. It was silly, but like, fucking the superheroes.
I mean, there's lots of like I said, there's lots of stuff in Love and Thunder where I was like, ooh, I don't know. I thought they actually handled the kid aspect of it pretty well. It just, for me, Love and Thunder, the biggest thing is the biggest thing is going to be the CGI because that stood out pretty bad. But also that they had a god killer, Christian Bale doing a great job. They had a city of gods, and you don't do a massacre scene.
Not a single fucking butchering. Not even hanging from the hooks like the first gods you see in the comic whenever he's introduced.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, big disappointment there.
I'm really impressed by you guys. You guys are like actually like making arguments against nothing. Like this video is not like in a good way. Like this video, if it was just me by myself, I would have watched this, be like, this is not giving me anything. But you know what, you guys are like giving them an argument just to be like this nice
it's a bad argument,
and then destroying it. Like,
I'm trying. Maybe I'm off base on
like
what
charity.
they're trying to imply here, but like I think because the thing is that I think that cringe generally, whenever I see somebody say it like online or something, whenever it's been said about something that I've said or something like that, it's like I have expressed some feeling or vulnerability or something like that. You know what I mean? Like people are uncomfortable with that type of thing. Like, oh my God, if someone expressed an emotion and it's just like a not a cynical thing, it's actually they're being sincere. Cringe.
Yeah. There are also just in general like so many people who are afraid of being cringy, right? Because it's become such a big thing, right, on the internet. It's like, oh, these people are cringy, right? Don't be cringe. It's like people just don't want to be themselves because they're afraid of like being cringy. But a wise person once told me, and this is my girlfriend's sister, don't kill the part of you that's cringy, kill the part of you that cringes. And it's like, damn,
dude,
that's true, man.
That's beautiful and awesome. Yes,
that makes sense.
Once you let go of like the whole, oh fuck, am I being cringy? You're gonna be so much happier in general. Cringe has not been good for us.
No, it hasn't, because it really that hits the nail on the head. It's like it's trying to cause social conformity is what that does, right? Like it's a form of social shame.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And fuck that shit.
Fuck that.
Where'd you learn to jump like that, Ninja Turtle?
Where'd you learn yours, huh? Donkey Kong?
And if we get some ice cream, we promise to be.
All right. Oh, okay. Fair enough. This whole video is saved now.
Okay, so real quick, the Miss Marvel thing. Miss Marvel's a nerd. She's gonna have references like that. She's gonna make them. What was the second one? The second one was
it was the twerking.
Oh, the twerking. God, I'm so sick of that. Yes, she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion in the fucking mid-credit scene. I don't care. It's a joke.
It's also so funny, like when we see the person cringing, it's like it looks at Chris or like fucking Captain America, right? Who in Endgame has a fucking ass joke.
Yeah.
Like he's acting like these people aren't also goofy as hell.
And then the third one, the kid sing about the ice cream. Okay, I'll give you that one.
That one fair.
As much as I like Doctor Strange 2, that was weak. Kids aren't going to do that. Kids aren't.
Well, I mean, look, kids are fucking cringe.
Yeah,
it is realistic, but it is cringe because kids are cringe.
Kids can be a little fucking cringe, little sociopaths sometimes.
And here's the thing: when they're not your kids, they're fucking cringe.
When it's your kids, it's like, oh, aren't they fucking cute?
Yeah.
And everybody else is
like it's a realistic thing, right? Like it's so many times where you see parents being like, oh, are they cute? And you're just like, oh. But it's like I don't have kids, right? But I'm sure that you actually like your own kids.
Right.
But fair enough, that is cringe, but it's not. It's purposefully cringe, you know, and that's the best kind of cringe.
All right, so here's the MCU being cringe for 6 minutes. So that
I just want to get to the characters one. Let's watch a little bit more of the cringe one. But then, like you said, there was one where it's like destroys characters.
Fuck yes! Look,
hell yeah!
Some fucking awesome quotes on cringe.
Damn, we're really getting out there. We need to spread the word.
Okay, so that's some not great green screen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is not cringe. This is just bad.
Yeah, we're
Didn't
back
cringe.
to the effects being bad, which yes, the VFX artists are overworked. It's an issue. This
That's
job
cringe.
looks
That's
really
fucking
bad.
cringe.
It's
shit.
cringe on Disney's part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big cringe.
She's holding thousands.
Oh, and then they show the box office, which you know, this was
Well,
literally
I think that was
the
the
first
budget.
movie to come out after the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
The pandemic.
Well,
Was
these
still
people
going
don't
on.
even understand what cringy is.
It's just whatever. Anything you don't like is cringe.
When you're watching something, you're like, that's fucking cringy, right? Not going like, well, that doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
Like that.
They could have spent more time animating that. They could,
You know, that's true. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry.
I didn't mean to step on you, man. My bad.
Well, I mean, you usually control me, so I'm just gonna let you do it.
That's why I'm telling you to speak now, Turf.
Oh, okay, fair. Thank you, Father.
at least he tells you to speak, man. I just.
You know what? I forgot what I was. It wasn't important. I was staying on it. So please don't hurt me, okay?
Play your fucking cards right. No, it's like like Lucifer says here, that scene, even though it does have crappy, like a couple of shots that are like, kind of not great, the emotion of it still works for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what's happening between the characters still works. That's just me.
I guess this looks like a WandaVision thing. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure
it looks
where
like
we're
it.
going with this.
Of people hostage.
And it could have been thousands more if she hadn't put up her own quarantine.
What?
Genocide.
Random.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
She's holding thousands of people hostage.
And it could have been thousands more if she hadn't put up her own quarantine.
What?
Genocide.
Okay, so this is actually something. This is kind of what we got into that discussion with fucking Adam and Cringe about, right?
Yeah.
Is the idea that like Wanda's did something just fucking irrevocably evil, and not just like something wrong, and like that definitely is wrong. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, no, she did something wrong, and like we're also ignoring the fact that series was kind of a prequel to her villain arc.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean,
isn't it like quite like commonly accepted that she was wrong in WandaVision for what she did?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then afterwards, like you said, Bob, she becomes a villain.
Well, I mean, I've got into it with people on Twitter before about this, because like everybody was going so hard on calling her. She's like, she's a villain. They need to treat her like a villain. And it's like, okay, sure. But how come nobody treated like Tony Stark like a villain whenever he created fucking Ultron?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because he made an
why does Tony Stark get a fucking like, oh, I did an oopsie. I just got to stop my oopsie.
I made a mass murder bot. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
I'm pretty sure that he killed more people than Wanda did, right? Like, or was responsible for more deaths just because he wanted to, fucking goof off and make an AI bot.
And also, like before that, when he made all the fucking bombs and shit.
The bombs too, yeah, all of the fucking bombs and missiles.
All the bombs and shit.
Let's just not think about that, right? Because he's a dude, I think, is really what it boils down to.
But random. I'm a survivor.
Who wants to murder trillions?
Thanos wiped out 50% of all living creatures. And it could have been thousands more if
Shut up, bitch!
What the fuck point is being
Is
made
that
there?
supposed to be making a point? Like I was trying to figure out what's cringe about Infinity War and stuff like this. Like
This is
that's a
almost
whole
like
take, and
this is almost like making like Wanda's actions seem less severe.
Severe,
So
yeah.
Wanda, in full no fucking equivocation, Wanda mind controlled a bunch of people and basically kidnapped them, and that's fucked up and like not
Yes.
good. It's fucking bad. That's bad villainous shit. I don't think she killed anybody.
Not until
Maybe I'm wrong.
Multiverse of Madness.
Well, yeah, not so Multiverse of Madness, but yeah, as far as WandaVision goes, and that's what we're looking at here so far. Comparing that to Thanos somehow, what?
It makes no sense.
What's worse, killing nobody or killing half of everybody?
Who's doing it? A man or a woman?
True. Yeah, you gotta think about that for sure.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
What did you say?
Yeah, she's not a good guy there.
Well, and also,
Just
and
sacrificed her
this is
children
the
and
point
shit.
that gets lost, and I tried to make this to fucking Adam and bitch. There's a mental health aspect to Wanda,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that Thanos, like coldly, calculatedly, fucking, over like probably decades, planned to do what he did. Whereas like Wanda, out of reaction to fucking severe trauma, and like after a life of trauma that was subjected onto her by Tony Stark in originally, right? You know what I mean? She fucking sat there in her fucking room with a bomb that said fucking Iron Man's name on it. Yeah, she fucking reacted and kind of broke and did some fucked up shit. But yeah, what is context?
And again, that is not like an admission of guilt. That is just understanding the reasons behind someone's actions, and that's always important in situations. But some people do not understand that.
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant? Was it you, you scroungy little fuck, huh? Sir, no, sir. You little piece of shit, you look like a fucking worm. I bet it was you. Sir, no, sir.
You have to stop calling them terrorists.
But I mean, yeah. Okay, let's think about the Flag Smashers. That was actually one of the things that I really fucking respected about Falcon and Winter Soldier was that line, because yeah, I mean, they were blowing shit up. They were doing some damage to property, the Flag Smashers. It wasn't until Carly went off on her own and was reacting out of fucking, kind of trauma that she actually hurt people. And that's fucked up and not good. But like prior to that, they were going out of their way to not harm anybody, and they were being fucking starved by this fucking government entity that had taken it upon itself to like, relocate people after the blip or whatever, right? When people are fucking starving and they're not getting medicine, and there's like some government agency that's like could be getting it to them and they're just not, you can kind of expect like some backlash at some point. That's just survival of human beings. Is that wrong, you think?
It ain't making too much sense. No, they're terrorists.
Like, is it the same thing as doing something like because you want to, I don't know, just I don't know, whatever.
I really gotta rewatch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I haven't seen it since it came out, and I really want to, because there's a lot of like, I always feel like there's a lot of discussion around it. And I'm like, I don't really remember it.
With the discussion around it, I think it's the most interesting is how a lot of the Chuds are tried to rehabilitate U.S. agent. I cannot think of the dude's name, but trying to make him out to be like the hero, and like how he publicly executes somebody was okay. And I was just like,
yeah, no. But they weren't bombing or killing anybody. They weren't. It was only one of them that acted unilaterally instead of acting as a democracy, which is how they'd acted before. When, like she acted on her own, that she got people hurt and killed. Like, yeah, you want to call her a terrorist who has fucking killed people, do it. But, yeah.
John Walker. Thank you, Lucifer.
Okay, and it's like half of this is just fucking memes and shit. Like, yeah. And so he's literally showing the one where she chose to do this, what happened, and kills people. Yep.
This is the only language these people understand.
But you have no idea how complicated this situation is.
It's facts! It's facts! Is it not facts?
You know what? You're right. And that's a good thing. You've got to do better, Senator.
Okay. Now, real quick, like the do better stuff, I would love it if it was a more articulate argument, but like the sentiment is correct. I mean, they do have to do better. I mean, the problem is it's not very specific, but like that's the thing. They just act like just making the argument is bad, and it's like no, that's not the issue.
The problem is like terrorist is someone who does violence for political gain, right? Like they were doing it for medicine and for food that was being, not being distributed properly after, their homes were taken from them. caused by, there's Thanos snapped and a bunch of people disappeared. So then a bunch of people who didn't have homes and stuff prior to, there's a whole bunch of free homes. Well, but then everybody comes back, and that creates a fucking huge problem. And that's, definitely like a refugee crisis on a fucking scale never before seen. But like a terrorist, I don't think that applies, because by calling them a terrorist, you're reducing their concerns and what their aims were, which was, to eat and to have food and places to sleep that were taken from them, right? What does terrorist mean at that point? You just call anything a terrorist, and it's all like gets washed away. Then you know what I mean. Don't have to think about it. That's bullshit.
It is also like, and this is not to say that like things shouldn't be labeled terrorism when they are, but like labeling things as terrorism often also just leads to horrible fucking reactions from people, right? Because terrorism, rightfully so, right, scares people, but fear often leads to just like, and it also justifies for some reason horrible fucking reactions, and we're seeing that nowadays. And I don't want to get into it because I'll get passionate about the whole Israel Palestine thing. But
so I get that.
I just want to address this one real fast, because US agent killed a guy, which, technically true, but like Steve Rogers kills guys. The issue with US agent was like he went insane. He subdued a guy. The guy was running away. He subdued him and did a public execution. That's an issue. Steve Rogers is not going to do shit like that. I just want to address that.
True.
If you were in a situation where you had no power, you had no political representation, you were forced out of your home, you were not able to access food, you were not able to get medicine for your family that's fucking like your family's like dying from diseases or whatever, you can't get medicine. What are you gonna do, man? You just gonna sit around like you think that's the ethical thing to do, is to not act and to just watch everybody fucking waste away and die and disease and squalor? Or you think maybe at some point, and like I said, the flag smashers prior to Carly acting on her own had not fucking killed people. The violence they'd done was towards property. Nobody was hurt. Yeah. Do you value property more than humans' lives? Or
and like the debate can always like go on about whether violence in any case is the right answer, but like at the very least you can understand what desperation does to people, right? And like that some people, due to reasons that they don't themselves control, right, just see no other way out. It's either like fight or just die and watch everyone else you care about suffer and die. And it's like it's shit like that makes you act.
It's human nature to fucking survive. Like we will fucking do what we feel is the only thing we can do to survive if we're in a situation where we're not gonna. It's just worth thinking about, man. That's all. I'm not saying that like I'm not saying they were in the right or anything. I'm just saying that like there's a lot of language that gets thrown around about these types of things that, for instance, stuff that's going on in the Middle East right now. Hamas, before I say anything else, Hamas, fucking piece of shit, garbage people, terrorists, done some fucking evil shit. But lumping Palestinians in with them as in civilians, which happens a lot, and saying they're all terrorists and stuff, that's fucking problematic, man, because there's a lot of people that just trying to live there. I mean, oh no, it's illegal. I don't think, maybe you believe ethics are based on the law. I don't think that the law is, or rather that the law is based on ethics and what is moral. I don't think that's usually the case in a lot of cases. Anyway,
frequently law is based on who can buy them anymore.
So
this is a take.
Yeah, it certainly is.
This is the take of all time.
Okay. I tell you what.
I don't even know. Like these are so fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
I thought that there would be more to like discuss, and it's really just showing clips of things that happen.
Yeah, and it's like here's some unrelated clips that I'm gonna pretend like they relate, but they don't really. So burn.
I mean, that's the thing. We are being incredibly charitable towards this video. Like we are finding things to debate about.
Yeah,
right.
We're like, we think you're trying to make this argument, so we're gonna argue against that because they're saying nothing.
Okay. I mean, so do you? So okay. So a terrorist who destroys property is equally as bad as a terrorist who kills people.
Wait,
Is that what you're
and
saying?
also just destroying public property makes you a terrorist flat out? That no.
You see how this word, like, it can be applied in a couple of different ways, and it ruins the value of human life, man. Like, you know, I'm sitting here saying I'm crazy, or second variable said I'm crazy. I'm trying to prioritize human life as being something worth, you know, distinguishing from fucking property. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, there is also a distinction between the property damage they did and like destroying the Twin Towers. But still, like I'm like, yeah, there is also a difference between property damage and human life. And this is nuanced, right? None of us are like saying that fucking property damage and violence is like the right solution, right? But it's about understanding, you know, and like about the dangers of just labeling people as terrorists, right? And yeah,
When let's say this happens often actually. So police get some kind of tip, or they have some kind of, they think that, I don't know, some place is selling drugs out of the house, or they pull over a car and they get there, like, they suspect there's some drugs being sold, and they go through and they fucking tear that car or that house, you know, to shit, which they do. They'll get a warrant. Sometimes they don't actually get one because the people will submit to being searched, and there's nothing there. Like, that property is destroyed for no fucking reason. Are police terrorists? Or do you just, like, you're like, oh well, no, obey the police at all times. The police are always right. They never do anything wrong. We should always fucking obey the police. Just something to think about.
Yeah. So are we gonna continue with this, or
yeah?
I'm like struggling to force myself to hit play, but I guess so, man. Like,
yeah.
By the way, I was kind of like with Loki throughout season 1. I was like, it's kind of weird that it's like his variant, right? Because they're clearly like falling in love with each other and shit, and then they kiss and all this stuff, and it's like, is that incestuous? Is that just masturbation? Like,
I don't think it's incestuous, right?
No, but
I
then
don't know if it's incestuous, and there's nothing wrong with masturbation.
Nothing wrong at all. But I think with the ending of and this isn't a spoiler or anything. I'm just saying that, like, the way it ends, it's basically like, in order to get Loki to the point, the state of mind that he ends up in, that you know, the ending happens how it happens, he had to be like, his foot in the door to become a better person was just to fall in love with himself, and I think that's kind of appropriate. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's kind of sweet.
Self-obsessed.
Music.
Fuck yeah.
All right, you want me to hit this play button?
Do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do.
Here we go.
I'm probably also gonna like head out soon.
You know, we're bearing through this, Turf. We're doing it.
Fuck. Oh fuck.
All right. Oh god. I don't know how many times I have to repeat it. Loki's a villain. He has to get rid of his villain arc. They're kneeing him in the balls because he killed people, like lots of fucking people. Can we get past this? It's not because he's a man. It's because he's a fucking villain. Okay.
Oh no, the cool stoic Loki is getting destroyed by women. Like, this just screams of insecurity.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
That's actually pretty funny.
That's literally Loki.
You become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair.
You got a point.
Back up!
She's the villain! I'd love to see the person who made this in this situation. In like American situation.
It's like he's not even saying anything. It's just like, here's some things happening, and then a meme going, "Shut up."
I'll label it cringe, and then everybody will just roll with it.
Damn.
DJ.
Our boy DJ just going through it here.
We're bummed too, man.
Yeah.
We're not having any fun up here without you.
No, it's
yeah.
This video is taking our like We're losing years to
tapping
this.
away.
I've gotten into fucking arguments with Chad about what terrorism is and shit. It's crazy over here, man.
We've gone off the rails ever since you left. I don't know where it went so wrong, but it
Okay,
did.
Webster's dictionary defines terrorism as.
Well, actually, terrorism. Yeah. But also, this type of person would definitely love like a good old action movie, right? Where there's a cool dude and then the woman is just screaming the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's in a woke movie, apparently it doesn't.
No, I think that the reason he says that is because what he says is we need to stop calling them terrorists because that it's a reductive and it's a conversation killer. It's a fucking thought terminating cliche in this context, right? Like because if you're saying these people are terrorists, then you don't consider what their concerns were, which were literally their lives. You know what I mean? So by calling them terrorists, you're fucking saying fuck these people's lives. Which, you know, I think that's kind of fucking evil myself, honestly. You know, passively, casually evil. So like, yeah. I mean, you want to get fucking semantic about definitions and stuff, you can do that. But like human beings and, you know, society is more complex than that.
And there's nuance in it. Like, I don't think Sam explained it perfectly.
No.
Not at all, right? But
This is
like
his first cat speech. Come on, you know?
Yeah, he's learning. In Secret Wars, we'll see his speech, okay? And if it's still not like great, then fair. You know? But like he has ideas there. And he has some of that essence of being Cap.
Yeah, I mean that's all I can really talk about it on. You know, I can't like focus the whole thing on just talking to you about it, man. Go watch the show and come back and we'll talk about it. It's a good conversation. So, oh yeah, here's this. You know this one, Bob. This whole scene.
Yeah, memory lane. I've never heard of this scene. I think a YouTuber.
Significant memories we remember.
Go over it with
so
me.
you don't forget.
Absolutely embarrassing. You're an embarrassment.
Oh. Who made this video?
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is a Mahler fan.
Who made this video? God, we're not even halfway through this shit yet, man.
Can we stop soon?
For those of you who don't know, I have pent-up aggression towards the memory store because it's probably the most lazy, frustrating writing element in the MCU. When I saw it, I knew that the writers had basically given up. They chose to use a clumsy narrative device instead of exposition through Oh, fucking hell. Exposition through dialogue. The best way to do exposition is dialogue, without doubt.
So, wait a second. So there's all it is just an in-story mechanism for giving a flashback.
Yeah, it's listen, man. If you want to argue it's clumsy, sure, but like when your counter argument is dialogue, it's like,
maybe they should just try to like talk to each other.
And it's worth pointing out, like Doctor Strange 2 was already a movie criticized for having too many scenes where they're just sitting down talking about shit.
Yeah, that's the rule, right? That's the writing rule. Tell, don't show.
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah, that's it.
It's kind of like Chekhov's gun. If you show a gun at the beginning of the thing, don't ever show that gun again.
Yeah, just forget about it. Move on. Have somebody tell a story about the gun later.
Yeah. We could tell he had
smartest man alive.
Prior to
Richards.
20 minutes later.
Wanda, Black Bolt could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
Oh no, bro.
Okay, look, I will say that I did have a problem with that line. One whisper from his mouth. Where else is he going to whisper from his ass?
Well,
just a little. After this happens, you just hear like a little quench, like out of his. One just bursts into like flames.
I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that like the whole point is that Reed Richards is just trying to intimidate her. Like the whole point is they're trying to get her to back down. They think they got this in the bag. You know, Wanda can't beat them. They think they got this. They don't realize how powerful Wanda is. They miscalculate that one.
Again, I don't know what's cringe. I mean, he basically does like a big anime moment, like revealing your like saying. Like, you sneak up on someone and then go like, right before you're about to hit, it's like, it's just action movie shit. And like you said, it's a scare tactic as well.
That's a good point. It's like, what is you know, exactly. Like, why is it they acting like they were supposed to know? Oh, if I say this, she's gonna like slow his mouth shut and blow up his brain.
She's going to remove his mouth from existence. Like that's something that he would just intuit that she would be able to do.
Yeah, because that's a normal thing to be able to do.
Did you see the part before that where it showed the whenever they let go of the previous Strange? It was pretty fucking terrifying. In that scene, in a flashback, which you know is all the memory fucking machine thing was.
They really should have just had dialogue explain that scene rather than actually seeing it. That would have been better exposition, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to use my magic powers to make your mouth go away, and your brain's going to explode, and blood will come out of your nose.
Yes, that'll be better.
And then that's the end of the scene. Yeah, man, this is really bad. Like, this is fucking awful. What's really awful is that it has a lot of views, and
I mean, the last one was bad, but this one's like actually much worse.
At least that one had some kind of like attempt at artistry with the satirization of the Civil War scene and stuff, right? Like,
yeah. This one doesn't even make sense for a lot of its cutaways. It's like
it's just here's a bunch of things that I didn't like or understand, and then some memes.
Just the most random ass memes.
We'll scan through the rest of it real quick. Okay.
More Wanda, nice. Oh, we're just nothing. XQC, hello.
Oh, here we go, She-Hulk. All right.
I mean, just throwing out a guess, if they're going to complain that Wanda kills herself at the end of the movie, I hope those same people hate Spider-Man 2 for Dr. Octopus killing himself at the end of that movie too. Just saying.
Also, I tap She-Hulk.
Wouldn't we all?
Wait, what is this? Are they actually calling themselves out with this meme? Hold on.
Oh, damn.
I don't know, but I hate it. The triggers are anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
Now, I'm really mad.
Oh.
That's not.
Do they understand how to edit things together? Like, I don't feel this is making the points they want to make.
No.
I feel like it's just making no point, frankly. But
right. Then there's Daredevil who fucking got laid.
Yeah, I don't even get the arguments about Daredevil. Listen, She-Hulk had its issues. Daredevil was a badass in She-Hulk, and he got laid, man.
Bro, we had sex in the MCU.
Yeah,
it's not like that. That's not too often.
Like this is right here is actually a good perfect way to encapsulate the reductive nature of discourse about these movies, because yes, the movie cost $250 million. Yes, that looked like shit. But if you're just going memeing about it, you're not getting to the root of the issue, which is the VFX workers and the fucking, you know, the overworked, underpaid nature of it, right? Like Marvel was exploiting these people. And you know,
because like this is cringe.
Give a shit, you know.
Yeah, this is cringe, but not for the reasons they like videos like these make it out to be. But guys, I'm so fucking tired.
No, you're gonna stay for the fucking rest of it.
All right,
this video is a goddamn chore.
Oh my god, it's KSI.
So much memes, just so many memes.
Yes,
like mostly fucking memes.
Fuck.
I don't even care. I just don't
Ironheart
care.
existing is cringe.
I love just like a person like this using a meme that says "not funny."
Yeah.
How
I don't know if
ironic.
you're the best judge, man.
Yeah. Maybe it's not so bad then.
I mean, I feel like I can't help but feel some of it is maybe like
Every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us.
Don't you hate when movies current day us though?
So you can fucking current day us.
I just want to highlight that because Bill Bixby was amazing in that whole old Hulk series. That series got redundant, but Bill Bixby was fucking fire in it.
It was great. I think that kind of shit. It's because the reason we don't get those things, those compilations, is because it's very emotion based, and it's like not designed to make a point. It's designed to trigger a reaction in people. You know what I mean? That like, and that's really what I would imagine that the vast majority of people enjoying that content are chuds or chud adjacent, right?
Yes.
What do you think about it, Turf?
Sorry, I'm looking at movies on IMDb. Sorry, I clocked out for a second. What were we talking about? Yeah. Sorry. Shit. You got me.
Got him.
Burn.
Fucking pronouns.
Fucking pronouns.
Yeah, I hate when movies current day me. I want movies to 1974 me.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100% that guy's a Mahler fan. Whoever made that fucking
Oh
compilation.
yeah.
For sure.
In a heartbeat.
You know
I
what?
imagine you've seen the video Mahler did on me too. So hey.
Dane when talking about terrorism.
Pure cope.
Got him.
Got me.
Got him.
Yep. Yeah, notice that. I mean, those things, those videos actually do exist, by the way. There are some fucking. Yeah. You know what? I've got a compilation that I'm going to end this stream with. You know? You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah. I got you.
But yeah, do we have anything else we wanted to do, or we do everything we planned on today?
I think we had a really fucking good conversation with Mark.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
No, it was great talking to Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully he comes on another time. He was well spoken. He's definitely put a lot of thought into this. He gave some awesome answers, and it was just really refreshing to have a conversation like that with someone who is not degenerate like us and just terminally online. So
yeah. But he's also still kind of with it. Like he knows what's up too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just fully out. It's like he's knowledgeable. And that's really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Word. Let me get that compilation up here because it's pretty cool. And it also shits on Critical Drinker.
Nice.
Aww.
Hell yeah.
But he's an author.
Oh.
Didn't you know that? That means he's a good writer.
Oh.
What have you written, Dane?
How many books have you sold out of an airport lounge?
I have not published any books. I'll say that.
Oh,
because Critical Drinkers sold almost 3 digits.
You know what would be awesome if the 3 of us, or the 4 of us, or then just the server in general, we made a comic book. Let's do it. Can any of you draw?
No, but I know plenty of people who can.
I actually can draw, just terribly.
You know what? Same.
I mean, I could draw when I was like 15, and I was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I stopped when I started playing guitar. But
yeah, there was a point where I was like, maybe like, I don't know, 12, where I was decent. Did not keep up.
Okay, because here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Literally. There's the thing. Yeah. What I feel like it would be so difficult for all of us to. I feel like we've all each had like dreams of like having a comic book or some shit, and we'd all just like be like, "No, my idea is better."
I mean, mine's already like fully formed. Like, basically, my comic book idea is waiting for me to not do this content anymore.
Oh shit, we're holding you back.
As long as I feel like it's beneficial, that's fine. It'll wait.
It'll always be there. So are you thinking of like getting someone to draw?
What's that?
Are you thinking like getting someone to draw?
Yeah, I mean, I've got like Sketchy Got Hands, Reggie. He's worked on a couple of designs for me, and he's said he's gonna, he's willing to draw it whenever I'm ready. And I've had to tell him a couple times, like, don't start working on it yet. Do something that's going to make you money right now, because like I'm not ready yet. But yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. There it is. There he is.
Cool. Well, hopefully tomorrow we'll win the culture war, so you can go make that. I'm betting on it.
Yeah, I think we got this in the bag.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
I mean, we were topping 100 fucking viewers for the stream today, so.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, I need to go sleep. Anyways.
That's what happens to me when I hear about us topping 100 viewers. I'm like, man, I need a nap.
Like, damn. I'm getting tired from the success. And as we know, every one like viewer we have on the live stream is equal to $100. So like we're doing pretty all right for ourselves.
Yeah. I just hope we don't get any dislikes, because that would destroy my day.
Dude, why are you telling them? Don't put that idea in their head. Oh, man.
Bob.
Oh,
For real though, they really they are monitoring the initiative channel like crazy. Like, I don't know if you've seen how fast they fucking go after. Like, it makes me laugh.
Man.
That's how you know we're not relevant, because they monitor us.
We don't frighten them. We don't intimidate them. We don't make them think, oh no, our fucking superiority on YouTube might end. None of that, because they're just really bored and happen to be passing by every time we put up a video.
True. It's true. He said it.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Have fun.
Like and subscribe and stuff and shit.
Yeah.
And then come back on. You got a stream tomorrow, Bob?
Yeah. I should probably get that set up. But yeah, I will definitely be streaming tomorrow.
Promote it.
Yes. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, doing a live stream. I don't have topics picked out. I'm sure stuff happened in the past week though. You'll get some thumbnails with the topics on it, so keep an eye out.
I'm probably going to stream Friday. I do that sometimes.
Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the podcast where we actually covered the Marvels. So the podcast for Monday is all planned out. Just my stream for tomorrow isn't. But the podcast for Monday, we got the Marvels coming up. We're going to be talking about Loki. Then we're going to be talking about the first Hunger Games, getting ready for the new one. So
whoa, Deadline just reported some Reed casting. God damn it! Hold on.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
Who could it be? Who could it be?
Whoa, what? No fucking way. What?
Who is it?
Pedro Pascal.
Wait,
really?
are you for sure?
He's fucking reportedly IGN, fucking Den of Geek, like several people saying reportedly he signed on to play Reed Richards. That's fucking awesome. Like,
damn. No, I don't think that would have ever been like top of my choice. But like,
I never would have thought it, but
I could see that. Yeah, he like that'd be a unique take, but I could see that really working well.
Bro, seeing Pedro Pascal
Holy
be a
shit.
stretchy dude. Oh.
Chuds are gonna be mad, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
but like, what are they gonna do? He's like, everyone fucking loves Pedro Pascal.
It's gonna be almost like the Michael B. Jordan situation. Hey, that Fantastic Four movie sucked, but like, you tell me Michael B. Jordan can't beat Johnny Storm? You serious?
Right.
Yeah.
No, it does seem true. It does seem I'm seeing several places they're reporting this is reportedly he has signed on, but like one of them is Deadline, and Deadline typically isn't going to go with a rumor unless there's like something kind of
Yeah, Deadline is pretty much like if they report it, that's pretty much happening.
Okay.
Lucifer, you don't get an opinion on Doom, okay? Not with your anti-Latvian xenophobia, okay?
Yes. Goodbye, everyone.
No, fucking hype. That's a
okay. So just to clarify, according to this, he is close to signing.
Oh, but I mean,
don't ruin this for us, people.
That typically means
don't give him a reason not to.
Yeah. To me, it kind of reads like they want to read the reaction in the room, but
yeah. I mean, if they far enough that they are letting that come out, and like, and if he's still just like, I don't know, they'll throw another 5 million or whatever on top of it to get him to fucking sign.
Dude, like, I have yet to see a Pedro Pascal performance I was disappointed in, so I'm down for this.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few actors that, if I think about it, that are tied to both, I think, right?
And also he's not very like present in The Mandalorian. He only voices.
Right. He's not
in the suit. Yeah.
There's a body actor for The Mandalorian. He just does the voice. Did he have his helmet off in the third season at all?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. Because usually there's at least an episode or two where he has his helmet off. And
I'm fine with it not.
that third season. Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, look, you don't need another fucking like middle-aged white dude, you know, to be. You just don't like. You got your Benedict Cumberbatches, and you got your, you know, you had your Robert Downey Jr.'s and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, let's spice it up. Is that racist to say? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, he's fucking great. Love that guy.
Pedro Pascal is great. Like,
I love having both Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal in the MCU. That would be amazing.
Yeah, like,
I love both of them.
his role in Game of Thrones was so short, but so fucking memorable, and like probably part of that's the death. But like even up to the death, like
Up
just
to
his
that, he
character was so
awesome.
memorable and great. Like I was actually really disappointed when he died. I was like, oh,
everyone
I like
started
this character.
sweating so hard when he like didn't just kill the mountain. He just started walking around him and being like,
yeah, and it's like,
hey, say you murdered
kill
him.
him.
You were like,
You got him. Kill him.
What are you doing? No. And he fucking grabs his ankle like, oh god damn it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. But I mean, look, that was such a fucking strong performance that they probably had to kill him off just to keep his schedule clear for, you know.
Oh, of
after
course.
that. Like,
but like he's just in everything. It was like The Last of Us. He's great. He's great in Narcos. It's just even great in The Kingsman.
Hey, if you want,
wasn't even a very good movie, but he was good in it.
You want to see something fun that he's in? Just recently, the Nicolas Cage movie, Massive Talent. I don't remember the full title, but like Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage, and Pedro Pascal plays a guy who's like a huge Nicolas Cage fan.
Oh, nice.
Fun movie.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like they whitewashed her in both movies. They like gave her fucking blue contacts and like fake blonde hair and shit. It's like, why are you gonna cast Jessica Alba?
Yeah, yeah.
So-
She looks so weird in those movies too. It was like, oh god, what are we doing?
So in a way, this is kind of like, you know, I don't know, I guess doing some justice for that bullshit.
Yeah. Nice. Anyways, peace out, everyone. See you.
Yeah.
Great
Pascal
stream.
family, we love you. It's a good movie. Unbearable Weight, very good movie.
Unbearable Weight, yes.
You guys are great. All 75 of you, and plus the ones that aren't here anymore. Hey, by the way, did you check out our customized fucking video background that I made for us? It's pretty cool. I do say so myself.
If you pay attention, it moves.
Bob, shut up.
It looks cool. It looks
meta.
All right, this is what we're leaving you with. It's about 5 minutes.
Hero. Remember all those awesome, heroic male characters that you liked when you were growing up? Well, forget about them because they were never actually heroes in the first place, and modern Hollywood is determined to prove it to you. And truly, what more quintessential example could I possibly give?
Yeah,
I can't fucking let this. God, it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
He just showed Tony Stark, who is literally like a modern action hero. It's a glaring example of how dumb this is, because he's not only a modern hero, modern movie action hero. You know, his last movie was 2019. Once again, his entire character arc is deconstructing him. It's deconstructing the you know, kind of hero archetype in a new way. He's constantly fucking self-examining, and he's constantly saying things reactively and emotionally too. Like, it is the example that that just fucking pulls the rug out from under all of the shit he's saying when you really think about it.
You gotta be kidding me.
Think she wants the Gallagher?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
I don't want to see this on your MySpace page. Please, no gang signs. No, throw it up. I'm kidding. Yeah, peace. I love peace. I'll be out of a job with peace.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I don't. Oh, that's my peeve, you know.
Oh.
Sorry. Handing a thing.
Well,
don't
I'll
ever
keep
hand
it
me
over as soon as possible.
I don't like being handed
That's
things.
fine, because I loved it.
He doesn't like to be handed things. Yeah, I have a peeve.
I got it. I don't like people handing me things. If you just...
There's one thing I've proven is that you can count on me to pleasure myself.
You ever lose an hour of sleep your whole life?
Be prepared to lose a few with you.
This usually works.
Well, performance issues, you know, it's not uncommon. 1 out of 5.
Oh, and you have to wear your hobby in the living room?
Just breaking it in, you know, it's always a little pinchy in the gooey bag at first, so. Your work on anti-electron collisions is unparalleled. And I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster. You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
Lab's all set up, boss.
Oh, actually, he's the boss. I just pay for everything and design everything and make everyone look cool.
Guys, stop. We gotta talk this through. It's good talk.
No, it wasn't.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Shakespeare in the Park?
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint. I have an army. We have a Hulk.
He's a sickness.
Aw, Junior. You're gonna break your old man's heart. You're the Spiderling. Crime-fighting spider. You're Spider Boy? I'm sorry, I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. Do I look at the patch or the eye?
What the hell was that?
It's called mixed martial arts. It's been around for 3 weeks.
It's called dirty boxing.
Batman is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
You know what keeps going through my head? Where's my sandwich?
Do not touch me again.
Then don't take my stuff.
Am I gonna be okay?
No. You're in a relationship with me. Everything will never be okay. You're welcome, I guess. Because I'm your nuclear deterrent. It's working. We're safe. America is secure. You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
I guess you won, because that was 6 years ago.
Which happens, dads leave. No need to be a pussy about it. Here's what I need. That man has no regard for lawn maintenance. I loved you in A Christmas Story, by the way. Sometimes you gotta run before you can walk. I told you I don't want to join your super secret boy band.
Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day. You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
I'm sorry, you giving out tickets or something?
Be thankful that your meaningless lives are now contributing
I'm
to
sorry,
the balance.
Earth is closed today. You better pack it up and get out of here. Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizard.
You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
Tony.
How did you get out of the wormhole?
Wait a minute. Sorry. Suit.
My diagnosis is that you've experienced a severe anxiety attack.
Hey, I admit it. My fault. I'm a piping hot mess. It's been going on for a while. I haven't said anything. Nothing's been the same since New York.
Oh, really? Well, I didn't notice that at all.
You experience things, and then they're over, and you still can't explain them. Gods, aliens, other dimensions. I'm just a man in a can. I don't want to... Oh, God.
Are you having another attack? I didn't even mention New York.
Right, and then you just said it by name while denying having said it.
Just breathe. They coming back? The aliens?
Maybe. Can you stop? Remember what I told you that I have an anxiety issue?
Does this subject make you edgy?
Yeah, a little bit.
Want me to stop? You want me to
Remember
stop?
when I said
can
to stop doing that? I swear to you, you're gonna freak me out. Oh, man, you did it, didn't you? You happy now?
Wait!
You're a fighter. No, he wiped my face with a planet. Did he give you any clues? Any coordinates? Anything? Tony, I'm gonna need you to focus. And I needed you, as in past tense. That trumps what you need. It's too late, buddy. You know what I need? I need a shave. Alive and otherwise, that what we needed was a pseudo armor around the world. Remember that? Whether it impacted our precious freedoms or not. That's what I said we'd lose. You said, we'll do that together too. We lost, and you weren't there. But that's what we do, right? Our best work after the fact. What are the Avengers? We're the Avengers, not the Pre-Vengers. Okay. We need you. You're new blood. A bunch of tired old mules. I got nothing for you, Cap. I got no coordinates, no clues, no strategies, no options, zero zip, nada. No trust. Liar. Here, take this. You find him. You put that on. You hide. Tony, fine. Let me...
I apologize in advance. Sometimes when I wipe, I'll wipe, and I'll wipe, and I'll wipe, and I'll wipe 100 times. Still poop, still poop. It's like I'm wiping a marker or something. Shit my pants on camera. I have hot snakes, you guys. When the diarrhea comes out like a hot snake. I get hot snakes and bubble gut. You know what's crazy is I definitely like poop. I just poop my pants. I used to guys like you in prison.